and E3 has arrived with more conferences that you can shake a PlayStation Move controller at. It's okay though, because we'll be here reacting live to every single conference as they happen throughout E3 week. For each, we'll also have a pre and post show, and they'll all be streamed live at twitch.tv/HyFin. It all kicks off Saturday 9th of June at 7pm BST with EA's conference, and it will carry on through the week. For now though, you're watching the Predictions show, where we're going through each of the conferences, talk about what we might see. I am your host HyFin, and joining me today is Phil Spencer's right-hand man himself, Liam, also known as Fletcham.
What's up?
The King of Hearts, Oryx.
Hello.
Do you like what I did there? King of Hearts. Yeah, I thought that was funny too. British chocolate himself, Beta.
British chocolate.
Yeah.
Alright.
And the Serpent's Tail, Nagi.
Yeah.
It's okay. I get the reference.
I didn't reference anything. I just thought it'd be fun to call you British chocolate.
Was it not a Mark Henry reference?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Didn't even know he made a reference.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
so
wrestling.
E3's happening, boys. Are we hyped?
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I would easily go as far as to say as this is the most exciting E3 in 3 or 4 years?
In recent
Right?
memory.
In recent memory.
I think it it has the potential to be one of the best years for video games that we've had in recent memory. But it also has the potential to be, as has often proved the case, a colossal disappointment.
So what you're saying is the most ambitious crossover.
In the history of the world.
World.
E3,
Man,
and good reviews.
Aside
Whoa.
from, the
Like
fact
2
that this
minutes
is,
in.
aside from the fact that this is about just 2018 E3, that meme really dates this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Like 2 minutes in and we're already memeing.
What did you expect?
So yeah, we're going to go through all the predictions we have now. We're going to go through each of the conferences in chronological order. That, of course, starts with EA. As I said, it's on Saturday. Just for clarity's sake, we're recording this on the Sunday, the 3rd of June, before E3. This will probably be going up on the Wednesday. I forget what date that is because I'm bad at math. But yeah, let's start off with EA, which is on the Saturday. It's 7pm BST. It's part of their EA Play thing, where EA pretends that they're not part of E3 and have their own little event.
Yeah.
That like only the cool kids get invited to.
So,
Okay.
can I?
Let's start off with Beta then.
Sorry, can I bust out a really unpopular opinion?
Go on.
I'm actually excited for EA's conference this year.
There's a lot of stuff that I can see why.
Yeah. So Anthem, which when they first revealed it, I didn't really care for, but it's slowly growing on me.
Yeah.
I mean, as
And-
Destiny 2 goes in the garbage can, it's logical.
Battlefield 5.
Nice. Well-
The trailer for that game was
It was awful.
complete and utter garbage. However, it looks as though what has happened is DICE has made a Battlefield game, and when
And then
EA tried
EA
to push
did publishing.
when EA tried to push their like shitty business model, DICE told them to go and shove. So we now have a Battlefield game with no premium pass, with no DLC, or no paid DLC. Sorry, all DLC is free, and with no non-cosmetic loot boxes.
EA do seem to get very like PR focused around E3 time because you remember back when Battlefront 2 got announced,
Yeah.
and everyone got hyped that there was no paid DLC for that, and everyone thought, okay, it's going to be free the whole way, and then obviously the loot box controversy happened. So I would remain a bit skeptical about the Battlefield 5 hype, but it can go well for them.
It looks
play it right.
to be a step in the right direction. However, I am waiting for them to fuck it up. Because Battlefront 2 looked to be a step in the right direction, but then they fucked it up. So
I've
We shall
also heard talk that the actual gameplay mechanics as they were explained at all of the Battle 5 reveal stuff was actually really solid gameplay. It's
So apparently, like with their reveal event they did for the public, they barely showed anything, and with their like reveal event for press, they basically just played the game for like 3 hours.
Yeah, you know the big Battlefield YouTuber Jack Frags? He said that really awful trailer was nothing like what he saw behind the scenes.
Angry Joe was saying the same thing. He was basically saying, like, guys, this trailer was complete and utter trash compared to the game. Like, I'm genuinely excited for the game that's going to come out, because the press event they did was literally just, like, 3.5 hours of actual, like, decent gameplay. And, like, some of the mechanics they're talking about adding in are fucking insane. Like, supposedly you can, like, slip on mud and, like, loose stones and shit like that. If you're, like, wading through water, it will actually, like, slow you down if you're, like, deep into the water. And you, like, actually have to properly wade through it and shit like that. They've, like, basically overhauled the movement system from what I've heard.
Yeah, as long as it's not, like, tripping in Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
No, Jesus Christ.
Let's see if I can find some of Angry Joe's stuff.
That trailer definitely... The first thing I said when I saw it was, that was a trailer designed by committee.
Yes.
Like, a bunch of boardrooms sat in an office and planned out the trailer for that. Like, we're gonna have tanks rolling through your house, and there's gonna be a woman fucking on the back of a truck and shooting
with
and
a prosthetic
fire
limb.
Everywhere. Prosthetic limb. It was just like...
The USS Enterprise comes out of the sky and crashes into the ground.
Yeah, it was like they handed the editors a list of bullet points that they wanted in the trailer, and they said, make it 3 minutes long.
We want a woman. Check. We want sniper rifles. Check. We want someone to jump out of a window, land on their back, and shoot a man with a sniper rifle as tanks crash through said building. Check and fucking make. Like, it's like Michael Bay got given a bunch of.
I was hoping for Saving Private Ryan, and what we got was Michael Bay.
Yeah, we got Michael Bay on cocaine. Is what we got. Like, he was just locked in a room with, like, 2 screenwriters and a typewriter, and just given, like, you know the end of Scarface, a just mountain of cocaine. That was what was in front of me. He just buried his face and was like, right.
I saw a quote-unquote historical analysis of the trailer, which one of the big things actually, like, far more than anything, like, oh, there's a woman in the game, which is accurate depending on which country you're talking about fighting. But the big discrepancy the guy noticed was there were weapons from, like, all sides of the war being used by what appeared to be the same team.
I mean, that's just Battlefield multiplayer, though, isn't it? Like, in every Battlefield game, you can do that. You can use, like, Russian gear on the American team, and the American gear on the Russian team.
Yeah, it was just something he pointed out.
That's just a multiplayer.
It was just a giant free-for-all. Well, but, like, it wasn't even just the guns. It was things like the tanks and other, like... map-specific vehicles and whatnot. And yes, you could run over to the enemy side and steal some of their stuff like that, but...
So this was Angry Joe's thing. He tweeted, wait, that's it? No. That was an awful reveal. Guys, they did a 3-hour reveal just yesterday for press. It was mind-blowing. 3 hours of insane, in-depth details, and it just floored me. And then, he said that he got an interview with the senior producer of Battlefield 5. Can't believe EA and DICE let me talk to them after Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now that's confidence in your game. So
That's reassuring.
I am heartily excited. I'll put a link to the interview that we've got in our chat here. The interview he did with the senior producer.
It sounds like EA may be learning from their mistakes. Maybe.
Oh, what you mean? The most downvoted comment on Reddit. That mistake.
But they're passing it all on to Todd Howard.
We want a sense of progression and accomplishment, guys. Don't you?
I assume that as for the conference itself, they'll probably open with Battlefield, and I imagine there will be the usual, like, EA Play session where they bring in Snoop Dogg and a bunch of Minecraft YouTubers that Snoop Dogg does not recognize in the slightest.
Well, I remember one of the Rooster Teeth guys was talking about how they went to that event, and they were sat like 2 seats down from Snoop Dogg and got a contact high.
I was watching one of those, and they were trying to take Snoop Dogg's joints away, and he just kept pulling out another one.
Maybe that's how he plans to win, coming in with a big puff of smoke that just floors everyone else, and then he just gets to play by himself. But yeah, that's Battlefield. I imagine we'll get just a gameplay showcase big thing.
Yeah,
like maybe 10-15 minutes.
It'll be like what they did with Battlefield 1. We'll get another trailer. We'll get like I guess the campaign trailer that they're going to do with like the 7 Nation Army soundtrack in the background. And then we'll get like a little teaser, and then it'll be like, right, so now we're going to go and spend just like 2 hours watching famous people play the game.
Yeah, well, and they may even like they may save that for like the end, or they'll have like a side stream going for that on the Battlefield channel.
They normally save that for the end. They do like the 2 hour long like press release where they're like, here's everything behind the development of the game. It's like, now the bit you've been waiting for. Here's a trailer. Here's us talking about some of the little things you saw in the trailer. Here's us going on some spiel about the impact of war on humanity. And then here's 2 hours of, people who are either drunk, stoned, or famous, or all three, playing Battlefield. Because that's what we all came here to
They'll
see.
do something for Anthem as well.
I also think they're going to be doing something for all their sports shit that they this time. Maybe one of they're trying.
FIFA 19's got to come out.
Yeah.
Speaking of Anthem, just to stay on one thing for real quick, they revealed that obviously last year at E3. Yeah, it was. It took a lot of people by surprise by how good it looked, and they were basically like, "Do you want to be Iron Man in the space jungle? Well, here you go."
Iron Man meets Avatar.
Yeah, and they said that it's confirmed that there's going to be a new story trailer and a new gameplay demo at the event. And I would say one of my predictions is after that they will have a release date up, and I'm guessing March 2019.
As long as the gameplay trailer doesn't have those shitty gameplay actors that they seem to hire for everything.
Oh yeah.
But yes, I got this new sword. Wow, wee.
Well, and as long as it doesn't
so
go,
much.
as long as it doesn't go through a traditional Ubisoft downgrade as well.
Yeah.
Very true. That's the first thing I thought of whenever the last trailer from last year, where they were going through that city and everyone looked really good, and I was like, "This is not how the game looks, is it?"
Anthem does look. I'm watching the trailer at the moment, and it does look.
It looks too good.
It looks awesome. Like, if this game is as good as it looks, I will play the ever-loving shit out of this game.
Rip PC users who try and get it.
Then there's always the potential that, another Watch Dogs happens.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's not even entertain that idea.
One thing
Sorry, I was going to say, saying that though, Division 2.
Well, we'll get to Ubisoft in a minute. We're still on EA.
Oh, yeah, shit. They're basically the same thing at this point.
Yeah, you sort of merge them together in your mind.
So one thing I'm hoping for is, how they usually do their, we're playing the game live. I want them to die accidentally the first couple minutes.
Yeah. We're totally playing the game. This isn't a heavily scripted developer version of it, but,
Yeah.
Like in the Doom live gameplay they did, where at the end of it you get ripped in half by the fucking cyber demon. I'm like, does that not happen in the actual game then? And it doesn't. Because that would be a little bit insane. But it sold the game really well. I'll tell you that.
Moving on from Anthem, then I can't pronounce that for some reason. Something Star Wars is what I wrote. Now, we already know about the Respawn Entertainment game that they're making.
The unannounced.
Yeah, there's very little to know about that other than they are making it. And then I heard another rumor of, I forget which city it was, but it's something like EA Montreal was making another Star Wars RPG.
Weren't they the guys that were supposed to be making 1313 before it got cancelled?
Yeah, didn't someone pick that up very recently?
Anything like that.
But did Respawn pick it up? Because if Respawn picked up 1313, I will be very excited.
Yeah. I'll check that, but I'm pretty sure I read that got picked up.
Speaking of which, Titanfall 3.
Yeah, I have to wonder if that's going to be something that shows up.
Do we think that Respawn would show Titanfall 3 and their Star Wars game? That might be a little task of them.
No, but the Star Wars game is unannounced, so I think what they'll do is they might show Titanfall 3 gameplay, and for a September release to try and fight Call of Duty and shit like that. And I think they might reveal a Star Wars game.
So if you think if Titanfall 3 is revealed at the event, it'll come out in October alongside.
Yeah, I think they'll do. I think if they're gonna do a Titanfall and a Star Wars game this year, I think the Titanfall one will come out at the end of the year, and I think they'll reveal a Star Wars game in the same way that they revealed like Anthem last year, in that it's gonna be more revealed this year. So then they'll save Star Wars for next year.
Will Titanfall release 1 week after Battlefield 5 though?
Yeah, I meant to mention, even Battlefield going in October is ballsy, because you have Red Dead and you have Call of Duty as well.
Not to mention the Spider-Man game soon as well.
Battlefield can stand up to that.
Yeah.
It always has done. Battlefield has always released it around the same time as Call of Duty. Every
I definitely
time.
can't. I get the Call of Duty thing, but Red Dead, like Red Dead.
I don't think Red Dead is going to be as big as it should be.
I don't think you put anything close to Red Dead release bundle. Like no games come out.
I absolutely think you do. I think Red Dead has lost a lot of them. I think if they'd have ported Red Dead to PC, I don't think it would have lost as much weight as it's got.
I think just because of Rockstar, I do believe they will find some way to get that hype back.
Oh yeah, but I think they'll also find some way to screw it up.
No, I think we're all on the Red Dead train after the week is over. I think hype levels are at max.
I don't know.
I am still excited for Red Dead Redemption because I remember playing Red Dead Redemption on the Xbox. But what I mean is, like, I think if they'd have ported it to PC, it would have so much more hype than it does currently.
See, the real question though is what happens when they announce their Battle Royale mode for it.
Oh, you know that's coming.
Everything's doing a Battle Royale mode.
But I'm just scared for Red Dead Redemption 2 because the head of Take-Two Interactive has basically come out and said, we want as much money from microtransactions as physically possible.
They'll do it.
Yeah, and it sucks because it ruined GTA Online. And it will likely do the same to Red Dead. Dollar.
Another prediction I have, this a little slower now, but a new game by Coldwood Interactive, I think the developer's name is. Those are the people who made Unravel.
Okay.
EA always like to have their we actually do like games, and here's a cool indie game looking thing made by us.
Yeah, they're more creative teams.
I'm pretty sure that game FE Iron Fey, I don't know what you call it, but that flopped, which is a shame because that looked a little bit interesting at the start, but it did not do well. Unravel was very good and it got very good reviews, so I hope Coldwood can do something with that.
That reminds me, actually. Sorry, keep talking. I find something. Keep talking.
Okay, I was just gonna say, we're all waiting for that Peggle announcement, right?
Oh yes.
Oh.
Bring back Peggle.
It's been too long since Peggle. I only have one more thing here for EA, and that is now bear with me. It's gonna sound a little crazy, but y'all got to get on board this train, alright?
Bearing with.
So last year, right? 2 years ago actually, they revealed the story mode for FIFA. And that actually did really well, to the point where last year they had the story mode for Madden. And now I think this is the next evolution of that.
Another Need for Speed game?
EA adds a Battlegrounds mode to Madden NFL 19. The mode will feature 100 football players dropped onto an island shaped like a giant football stadium and tackle each other until only one remains.
I am 100% down for this. And
down with that.
I would buy Madden. I would buy Madden.
Wouldn't that be the hype of shit, though? If there was a Madden's Battleground.
Madden Battle Royale.
John Madden's Battlegrounds.
John Madden's Battlegrounds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you, unless anyone else has anything they want to mention.
No.
It's near that time, so they might be doing another Need for Speed or another racing game as well.
Dude, I've been awaiting... I'm the only one on the universe that's waiting for a remaster of Need for Speed Pro Street.
You are not the only one.
Yay!
I want a remaster of Need for Speed Underground, thank you very much.
Nah, Pro Street first, bro. Come on, get in line. Alright. I guess we then move on to Microsoft, which is the next conference. So yeah, they're doing theirs on the Sunday, as they always do. I think they used to do it on a Monday, maybe. I know they were always at the start.
Yeah, they moved it around to move the conference hall or something to accommodate more people, something like that.
Yeah, they're doing it from the Microsoft Theatre this time around, which caused a bit of a hubbub when that was announced, because people were saying, oh, E3's dying, everyone's moving out. I don't think it is, but it's an interesting choice. I think it's just for Microsoft to have their own space.
Yeah.
They like to have their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
This is my big prediction, right? They open the show with it after Phil Spencer walks out, does his spiel, wearing 2 watches as normal. Phil.
Yeah, it's always time to fuck up some games.
I think they open with the Crystal Dynamics Eidos Montreal story trailer for the Avengers game that they announced a while back.
Yeah, that's an Avengers game.
They teased an Avengers game being made by the people who made Tomb Raider and other Square Enix studios.
So, as in Marvel's Avengers, or like the old 60s
Marvel's
spy
Avengers. It's a real Avengers game.
So Square has the licensing to make an Avengers game, which could be something potentially, like some people are thinking it could potentially be like an Ultimate Alliance thing.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, maybe?
Then there's one issue. If Square has a licensing to do that, they're most likely going to it's for Microsoft.
No, it's
it's Microsoft.
It was tied for Microsoft for sure. I don't know whether it's exclusive. I think that Phil Spencer has put in the philosophy of we don't do exclusive games, but I think they might do like Rise of the Tomb Raider did a few years ago, make it a timed exclusive. So a year on Xbox and PC, and then PlayStation gets it later when no one cares. We don't know what type of game it is yet, though. Like, I'm hoping it's like open world RPG, something like that.
I'm thinking,
but it could be anything.
If anything, it could be like the old DC and Marvel games where it was like the choose your hero and you control 4 heroes going kind of dungeons and leveling up RPG.
It could be like it could be like Sonic Forces where you create your own character and have a run alongside Iron Man.
There's something like that already exists. It's an MMO and I can't remember what it's called.
DC
Universe. Yeah.
Is it that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that already exists. We don't need that.
OC, do not steal.
You gotta assume that
Don't steal my character.
You gotta assume that the Avengers game doesn't have Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man's in the Avengers.
He's in there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Sony has the exclusive rights to the Spider-Man game, so I wonder would they let that slip?
True.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll let him be a character, so long as he's not
I don't
playable.
know. I still don't know about that.
Maybe
like,
he'll
they'll let him come in
DLC
the
for
cinematic
the
universe, but
he'll be DLC for the PlayStation version of the game. He'll be like a PlayStation pre-order exclusive.
I could actually kind of see that.
I can 100% see that.
Sony may own the rights to the game. They don't own the rights to Spider-Man's likeness. That's Disney.
That is also true.
I thought they did. Did they sell? They did have it for a while, though, Spider-Man. Well, they know they had the
yeah,
rights.
but Marvel got back a lot of their shit.
Yeah. But
Which
did they
is
buy it back, or is Sony leasing it to them?
I'm pretty sure they could afford to buy
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they bought most of the rights back to most of their stuff at this point.
I would almost say that Sony still probably owns his game rights, and I say that just because of the fact that Insomniac's game is PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Sony Spider-Man rights. Yeah, I would agree that they probably have the rights, given that their game is PS4 exclusive.
I feel like you had a good shout, Beta, when you said that. I think in my head canon of it being timed exclusive, and then by the time it does come around to PlayStation, there'll be like an E3 or a Tokyo Game Show or whatever, where they're like, "Hey, we have this now, and guess who's here? Spider-Man."
Yeah, it'd be a great way to sell copies on PS4 as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. No, apparently, Sony and Marvel Studios share the rights to Spider-Man.
That's
Sony have the theatrical rights.
So aside from the Avengers, are we sure that Microsoft might not open with something Halo related?
I think that's a closer. Yeah, that's a closer for sure, right?
Yeah, they'll close on Halo if they bring
They'll
Halo.
absolutely bring Halo. There's no way they don't. I'll be very impressed.
How long has it been since 5?
Like a year and a bit. Kind of been that.
I mean, I really hope it's good. Halo Wars 2 gave me hope that they're gonna fix it.
So, Liam, what's the likelihood of a Halo 6 showing up at all?
Well, it seems to be in a 3-year cycle. I mean, Halo 4 and Halo 5, there was 3 years between that, so it's been 3 years since Halo 5, so it's very likely that they'll bring it. I'll be very surprised if it's not there in some capacity. At least, like, a hint that they're making it.
See,
can they bring it to PC, please?
See, that would be a great curveball if they release the Master Chief Collection with its fixes to PC.
Well, and I was going to say, that's another thing.
Halo 5 is on PC. The multiplayer, at least.
Yeah,
you can do Forge on PC, but there's the game itself.
You can do the server browser. You can play games.
It's still not the strongest thing.
Really?
Like, it's not as strong as... I mean, we all saw the showing that El Dorito made.
Yeah, I played El Dorito. It's fucking good.
Yeah,
it looks pretty good.
They blew it out of the water with that.
Yeah, 100%.
And so what I have to wonder is, because Microsoft didn't fully shut that project down, they were just like, hey, we just want to get our assets from it. And they've talked about potentially working with that team. That means we probably will be seeing something about the Master Chief Collection. God, I hope we see Reach.
Yes!
And then if there's any talk of a PC release for the Master Chief Collection, because in all honesty, I'm not spending $500 on an Xbox.
But, however, if they release the Master Chief Collection and Reach to PC, I will happily spend $500 for whatever bullshit limited edition they come out with.
That's fair.
Halo Reach is one of 2 limited edition games I've ever bought.
The statue and all that.
The like, Halsey's Diary.
Do we think it's called Halo 6? Or is it going to have a
it's going to have
some
subtitle that means nothing.
Oh,
Definitely.
it'll have a subtitle, but it'll still have the 6 in there, too.
Yeah. It'll be like Halo 6 Revengeance or some bullshit.
They'll never find some stupid way to integrate it into the title.
What was the ending of 5? Like, Cortana went off to, like, fuck the universe or something?
Spoilers, I guess.
It's 3 years ago! It's been 3 years!
Alright, another thing that I will probably see, or we will all probably see, I'm not the only one watching the conference, I hope, we'll probably see some of Cyberpunk 2077 at Microsoft's conference. Because they did the Witcher 3 reveal at Microsoft's. I don't see why they wouldn't do the same with this.
Mainly because Witcher stuff came for PC,
So
yeah.
I didn't know where to put this one, so I put it in the PC gaming show, but it could make a showing at either Microsoft or PlayStation.
I'm wondering, Cyberpunk is bigger than the PC gaming show.
Oh no,
yeah,
not
PC
Cyberpunk.
Show,
not Cyberpunk.
Right, okay.
This is a different game that has been, I mean, well over 10 years coming. Where will we see Psychonauts 2?
Yes! Sony.
You think that'll be Sony?
definitely Sony.
It'll either be Sony or, like, specifically PlayStation. One of the two.
Okay.
Yeah, Sony loves nostalgia, so I could definitely see it there.
Yeah. And boy, will we get to that during PlayStation's thing.
It's on Unreal. Well, I mean, yeah, it's on, like, all the platforms, apparently. So, like, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. But I can 100% see it being a Sony thing. If not, I could very possibly... No. Oh, no, never mind. No, never mind.
Anticlimactic.
Never mind. And it has a publisher already. It's the same guys that published Payday 2, which is interesting.
Maybe a controversial prediction here from me, but I'm thinking that Crackdown 3 completely absent. Doesn't even get mentioned.
I mean, there's rumours it could get delayed further, so
yeah, I think that's gone through too much shit. They don't want to talk about it until it's ready to go the next day. It's dead. Leave it alone for a while. It'll come back eventually, but for now, no Crackdown 3.
Now, someone check Terry Cruz's Twitter, though. If someone can
Everyone talking at once. Holy shit. Okay.
I'm just saying, someone check Terry Crews's Twitter right quick and actually see if he's making any comments. Because if he's making any suspicious comments or anything like that, he's probably going to appear on stage during the conference and start announcing Crackdown.
Who am I searching up?
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Let's have a look.
But are we gonna start like having like a board of pins and like screenshot of Terry Crews tweets and like drawing lines between them? Like, what does he mean?
Yeah, no.
Yes, that's what's happening.
Don't worry about it. He's just making tweets about Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Deadpool 2.
Welcome to the Terry Crews analysis power hour part of the show.
All right. So I could.
Oh, sorry. Go on ahead.
I was just gonna say I could see your point being valid. Like they may just decide to forego talking about Crackdown to avoid any more heat about it. Though if it's coming out within the year potentially, then they may show something.
I think they might show a little something and just be like, "Yo, here's where
maybe
we're
just
at."
to put people's minds at ease. Like, hey, this is still in development.
And they'll be like, coming 2019.
Yeah.
At the end of it, because I don't know. I don't know what else Microsoft is really coming out with other than all of their Xbox games that are being announced by other people. So
yeah, and that's why I felt like they aren't coming into this super strong compared to other people, because Xbox doesn't have a lot of exclusives. PlayStation does, but Xbox doesn't.
That's been the story of this entire generation, and I feel like they got off to a bad start, obviously, with the first Xbox One reveal,
with the
shit went
DRM,
south, and they talked about TV for too long. But Phil Spencer, it sucks for him, because since he's taken over, he's been on that philosophy of backwards compatibility, making sure that the games come first. We don't have exclusive games anymore. We share games with PC. And it's been super like pro gamer and pro consumer, and it's fucked him over in the same right.
Dude, did you? This is backtracking a little bit, but did you see the footage of? There's like I think it's on like the new Xbox One, the Xbox One X or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
the newer one. The backwards compatibility they do on that isn't just backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
it fucking ramps it up to like super HD. Retextures everything, redoes everything. It looks phenomenal. I think
like
NerdCube did a video.
I watched that video as well.
The SSX one?
He was showing off SSX.
Yeah, boy.
He basically said you buy the Xbox One X to be the 4K PlayStation 2 that you never had.
Yeah.
And I think that's a super neat thing. I think that because Xbox aren't doing badly. They're not doing as badly as, say, the PlayStation 3 did during its life cycle. They're doing well. It's just that PlayStation is doing so much better that it looks like Microsoft isn't doing well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like as far as game development, like I give credit to Western studios where it's due, but Japan has really been pushing a lot of shit out between just PlayStation and Nintendo. Like, there's been a lot of good stuff coming out of Japan recently, especially with how Dark Souls has blown up in popular culture and whatnot. And Platinum's games with Nier. Like, there's just a ton of stuff.
But then Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Konami.
We don't talk about Konami. We don't talk about this.
And I was going to say, to be fair, is anyone expecting anything good out of Konami anymore besides cutscenes in a pachinko machine?
I'm not expecting anything even possible out of Konami at this point.
People are rumoring a Snake Eater remake or remaster.
Oh, wow. It's not happening.
It's not happening, but if it did, I'm faced with like a philosophical dilemma, because I've been on the fuck Konami train for as long as anyone. And if they do that and they do it well, I'm sort of like, do I give them money?
But
no, what you do is you just pirate the game, because then it's still fuck Konami, and you still get to play the game.
They don't think that will make them money, though. That's the issue. They think their pachinko machines will make them money because Japan has a massive gambling problem.
They will, because Japan has a hard-on for pachinko machines. Am I allowed to say that? Am I?
Yeah, you are.
I don't know if you guys have seen the cutscenes from that MGS3 pachinko machine. By the way, they
were fucking
god-tier.
godly.
Oh my god.
I mean, to be
Yeah.
fair, I will give Konami this one piece of credit. They can make pretty good cutscenes. Other than that,
I mean, it's what was it? Metal Gear Solid 4 had like a fucking 4-hour cutscene. Like,
yeah, it literally
The-
lasted for like 2.5 hours.
The final cutscene is legitimately an hour.
yeah.
Dude, some of the cutscenes from Metal Gear Solid 5 are like phenomenal.
Yeah.
Still haven't played Metal Gear Solid 5.
It
Haven't gotten around to it.
is amazing.
It's the only Metal Gear game I haven't played.
Please.
But
It's not a good Metal Gear game, but it's a
yeah,
good fucking
it's a
game.
good game. Okay, that's what I've heard. But,
like if we're talking about games that aren't good Metal Gear games, I also think it's better than Rising.
Everything is better than Rising.
Never
Yeah.
played Rising.
Good.
It's a platinum game. So if you've played one of their older ones, you've kind of played
Pretty
them all.
crazy.
Fair. So going back to Microsoft, I'm gonna move off games a little bit because I think some of the most interesting stuff to come out of Microsoft will be
Tech.
services, stuff like that. Because I feel like what they're trying to do is they know they're not gonna get many people back this generation. Most people have bought a PlayStation, and if they have another console, it's most likely a Switch. So
Yeah.
I feel like they've basically conceded this generation. They're still going well, but they're not trying to go guns blazing for this. They're sort of laying the groundwork, making preps for whatever the next thing is.
Yeah.
So I feel like as part of that, Games Pass is going to get a pretty big push.
Yep.
Like I feel like more people should be on that right now than there are. So
Yep.
I
Honestly-
feel something like, go on.
One thing that I'd be very interested to see for either the tail end of this generation or starting the next generation is this idea of moving on from the paid multiplayer subscriptions to the just paid game subscriptions. Like basically
Yes.
each console having its own like GameFly system basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand.
I would definitely if I was an Xbox owner, I would definitely be subscribed to Game Pass and probably not buy a game ever again.
If you're a Windows 10 owner, everything that's on Game Pass on the Xbox is on the Windows 10.
I just don't want to use Windows 10, Microsoft Store, or whatever the fuck.
I mean, see, that's
But yeah,
fine.
that's the big thing
Yeah.
they're pushing that with is that every new Microsoft game is on Games Pass day and date.
Sea of
Halo
Thieves.
6 day
Sea
and
of
date
Thieves.
Games Pass. Sea of Thieves.
Gears of
Crackdown
War
3
4.
eventually, I guess.
Correct. Yeah, Gears of War 4 was on it. Crackdown
Yeah.
3, Halo Wars 2.
Exactly.
I don't have Game Pass, not yet anyway. I do have Origin Access for like a year.
Yeah.
Which, again, fucking amazing, by the way. Like, it's like 20 quid a year for, like, Battlefield 1, which is the new one. Titanfall 2, which is one of the best multiplayer games I have ever played in my entire life. All kinds of shit. It's just good.
See, and for hardcore gamers, like say you give the online for free, I can legitimately see hardcore gamers being willing to pay $100 to $150 a year to have AAA titles in a just like free to play kind of environment.
Yeah, and like the thing as well is like using Origin Access as an example, right? Number one, it's £20 for an entire year.
That's,
if you're
like
a teenager,
$30 in American money, right?
Yeah, if you're
The real
if you're
money?
a teenager or a student who loves playing video games, but you can't afford to keep buying $70 AAA games whenever they come out, shit like that is amazing. Like it's $20, £20, so like $30 for an entire year of AAA games. As well as that, when Battlefield 5 comes out, people with Origin Access get to play it like a week and a half early, before even the pre-orders get to play.
That's,
Wow.
I think they could do something like that with Halo. They could
Yeah.
say, I don't think they would do maybe they'd do a week, but I'm thinking more like 24 hours before the release. Games Pass people get it early.
Let me quickly verify that.
That was
And then that
definitely
gives
get
them
people
and then
at
that
least,
gives them
yeah.
an extra 24 hours of damage control.
So
But I think that they come out this year, try and push it again, and something like some sort of bundle with Xbox Live, because they're still pushing that. They're still pushing games with gold. So I say something like if you have Xbox Live, a reduced price for Game Pass, or the other way around, maybe something like that. Something to get people to dip their toe in and then get hooked on it.
So if you pre-order the standard edition of Battlefield 5, you get early access to the beta. You get a bunch of special sets and like weapons and shit like that because it's a pre-order. But I'm fairly certain. Yeah. The game trial, which is what you get with Origin Access, is on October the 11th. If you own the Deluxe Edition, you get it on October 16th. And everyone else gets it on October 19th.
Down.
So you get 5 days early access.
That's pretty decent.
If you have Origin Access. And then another 3 days early access if you pre-order the Deluxe Edition. And you get early access to the beta as well. Like, what? What the fuck are you doing, EA? This is weird. This is not like you, EA. You don't do this. You're not nice, EA. I don't understand this. What is going on?
Speaking of like things like pre-orders and pricings and subscriptions and all of that, I have to wonder, this is kind of just a general market question, I have to wonder if we will see a increase in game prices at some point in the next few years, or if they'll just keep offloading that overhead onto things like DLC and microtransactions and loot boxes.
That has been an idea that I've played with in my mind a lot, and I've read a lot of things about. It doesn't seem to be moving anywhere yet, but I think we should definitely be prepared for it, and I think it would be an overall positive. And might just, again, push people to the Games Pass model.
Yeah, that too.
Games. Yeah.
But I also, it worries me because we have our studios like Activision and their subsidiaries that work on the Call of Duty series. Like, we've seen this trend of people pushing games out early, basically, just with the mentality of we can fix it later, and we'll still charge these people $60 for this unfinished game, and then we'll also charge them $30 for a season pass or for all of our DLCs or whatever.
Did you mean Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Did you mean Skyrim?
I mean, it's not just those games though. I mean, there's plenty of games nowadays that are coming out
those are
bugged as hell.
My big two examples.
Yeah, I mean, people who know me know I'm not the biggest fan of Bethesda, but I'm not gonna sit here and trash on them until they screw up something at the conference.
Which they will.
I mean, we'll get to the whole shooting themselves in the foot with Fallout and Rage when we get
later.
to Bethesda.
When we get to Bethesda.
Which is actually next.
But I would be fine with an increase in prices if I didn't think companies were going to abuse that and still release unfinished games. If they were going to use that to actually cover their overhead during longer development periods and actually sit down and focus and work on their games and come out with good, solid products again, then I'd be fine with it. But I'm worried that that's not where the market will go, even if we do get a price increase.
For sure. It's definitely a concern. That's probably the biggest argument against that idea. So that's why I don't see it moving anywhere at the minute. But again, it's something that I think we should be prepared for. We were talking about Games Pass earlier. We're sort of straight off. But Liam, you haven't talked in a while. I know me and you talked about because you're like the Xbox guy. I was talking to you about how you felt about Games Pass, and you were not the biggest fan of it. You don't have it, which I was confused about it. So like, tell me a bit about your feelings.
I don't have it, but I can see the value in it. But at the same time, I just like having a game which I own, and though it costs more money initially, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but when there's more stuff on it, and especially from Microsoft's perspective, where they have the whole MS ecosystem, where you can own an Xbox and your computer running Windows 10, and it will all seamlessly work, especially for
that was a loud motorbike.
Especially for like cross-platform titles like Halo Wars 2, for example. That was PC and console. You know, you buy it once, even if you have that through a Games Pass, you have it on multiple devices. Yeah, that's extra value for something that's already good value. So if the industry starts shifting that way, it's something I'll probably get on board with. But for now, I'm just gonna. I like my game cases stacked up in a cupboard.
I feel like you're the guy going to Blockbuster Video when everyone's on Netflix.
I have Netflix, all right.
He also
Yeah,
has
but
Blockbuster
you
Video.
weren't ready for Netflix. You were like, oh, future.
He still has the Netflix that sends you the DVD.
has.
Remember when Netflix used to do that when they first started? They'd send you like the envelope with your DVD in it,
Yeah.
and now they're the
no.
fucking monolith they are now.
Dude, I didn't even have Netflix. I was a hipster. I had Love Film. Remember Love Film?
Oh my god, yeah. Love
Oh,
Film
no.
was the shitty UK Netflix. That's what
Yeah.
Love Film is.
See, and I was gonna say I can definitely see the point for like owning physical media. Like, I still love owning physical books and physical game cases and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
but
I'm on that fence as well.
I like owning like books and things like that because it's just more satisfying to read.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of satisfaction from like an organized desktop, I guess, on my PC.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
like just being able to go through my Steam list and see it all like categorized and so nice and ordered, and I've got all my shortcuts on my desktop in folders and all that kind of thing. That gives me way more satisfaction than a game case, like on a shelf. I save my shelf for my books.
Well, and I will also say that if we do go a route of like, hey, just everyone buy the Game Pass, then that could also really cause a weird environment for things like collector's editions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
because
they would basically cease to exist.
there's people like me who love to have collector's editions. I'd like having my box with the little knickknacks that come with them, like my Yakuza 6 stuff that came with whiskey glass.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone here has seen that collector's edition, but Naki and I both have the collector's edition of Yakuza, and it is one of the most practical collector's editions that I have ever received.
See, that's my usual gripe with collector's editions, is I don't like just random faff in my house. I just don't like little things that don't provide any use to me. I could see the use in a whiskey glass. I could go through that. But
Oh, well,
yeah.
it's you get 2 whiskey glasses that are like laser etched with Kiryu's dragon tattoo around it. You get 2 coasters, and you get 2 whiskey stones that have engravings on them that disappear when they get wet.
Yeah.
And then you get an art book.
Yeah, and my thing is I like being able to go through and change the disc. I'm from that cartridge age, having to blow into it and stick it into the slot and jiggle around because it's not working. I like having boxes of games on my shelves and stuff like that. It shows that, hey, this guy's been playing games for a little bit too long.
I mean, just imagine what happens to people like Pro Jared or The Completionist, and how empty their walls become when you take away physical media.
Yeah, fucking. I switched to digital ages ago. I was all about it.
Well, even then, see, the issue now is even though we have physical discs, you still have to download the damn game.
Yeah.
That I think is a real
you can
big
go
issue.
and buy this disc for your Xbox, but you also then have to download that 80 gigs off the disc onto your 500
that
gig
annoys me.
Xbox.
One thing I never got is why didn't they switch from CDs to just SD cards, like what Nintendo's doing with the Switch?
Yeah.
Do that.
Because I can
And-
lose those.
And it worries me especially because apparently there's a trend in America. I don't know how it is in the UK and in Europe, but I just got hit with data caps now on my internet service. So,
Oof.
and from what I've heard, that seems to be something that's kind of becoming a trend. And with that in place, that is a real hard kick to gamers. With this whole model of, hey, you have your disc, you bought your game, but now download, like in the case of Final Fantasy 15, if you guys have seen the download size for that on Steam, it's 100 plus gig download.
Oh god.
And
I'm sorry, I just made a high pitched scream there. I don't know if you guys heard that.
and our data cap here now is going to be a terabyte. So like if games go in the direction of Final Fantasy 15, then I get and to be fair, like I'm not going to be playing like 10 games a month necessarily, but
Yeah.
2 games a month plus, regular internet usage, streaming with 4K video becoming relevant. Like, there's a lot of issues that we're going to face if people decide to start putting data caps on people with the digital market.
And also that with the digital market, yeah, it's easier to, I can delete the game anytime, I still have it. With everything becoming digital, the reason why I like physical, yes, GameStop's still relevant to me because I'm a poor ass, is that if I don't like the game, I can just go return it.
Yeah.
I can't do that with a digital copy.
And that's why, like, for example, God of War. I've never been a big fan of the first 3 God of War games.
Yeah.
But I was considering picking up 4 before I had some stuff that I needed to use money on. So jury's still out on that for me, but I plan on buying it physical when I do get it, just in case I don't like it. Even though I've heard it's amazing, I traditionally haven't liked the older games. I know it's a departure, but I would still like to be able to buy my physical games in case I want to take it back. Because, like, I don't know if you guys know what Sony's policy is on digital releases, but it's not like Steam's where it's you get to play 2 hours and return it within that 2 hours. No, Sony's is if you start the download, you're done. No returns.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sounds like so. No. I mean, Steam's isn't exactly fantastic, but it's better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think overall, Valve has created the best return policy, generally speaking, among, like, the digital market.
I agree.
I would agree with that.
Back to Microsoft's conference. We
Yeah.
sort of a bit far from that.
We can cut that.
2 more predictions left on my little notepad.
Okay.
I think an Xbox One X price drop is something we could potentially see.
Yeah.
What do you
think
mean
there
by
could
that?
be
Like the price drops.
I heard. So
I heard press drop.
I heard press drop.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Bloody
But
Irish.
Yeah. I don't know about how much, but maybe $100.
$100.
I'd say 50 to 100, and most likely 100 just for a nice round number.
Yeah.
Go down from X99 to X99 minus 100.
And then just kind of, before we get to the PlayStation show, just since it's relevant if we're talking price drops, there's probably someone at PlayStation who figured out that Microsoft's doing that if Microsoft does it, so we'll probably see something from Sony, but it'd be more likely to be a 50 than 100.
Yeah, I
Being
have that
that-
too, like, as one of my predictions in retaliation to the Xbox price drop.
Yeah.
PlayStation does a similar thing.
But PlayStation's already lower, so they'll do, like, a less significant price drop.
Exactly, yeah. Or maybe like a really good value bundle in that case.
Oh, I fully expect... God, I'll save that one till we get to Square and PlayStation.
My last prediction for the Microsoft conference. Every year there's a Forza game, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know which one we're on. I think it's Motorsport 7.
We're on
that
like
we're going into.
Horizon 6 or something.
Okay, yeah. But yeah. Forza, whatever number it is, adds a Battlegrounds mode where 100 cars are dropped onto an island.
It's funny you should say that, though, Tim.
Go
Because
on.
there is, in fact, a Mad Max-style Battle Royale game coming out.
I thought you were going to say Rocket League were adding Battle Royale,
It's
in
called,
which case I was
it's
down.
called Fractured Lands, and it's set to begin testing in June.
Interesting.
It's
But yeah.
literally just, it's basically Twisted Metal,
Ah.
but Mad Max.
Okay.
So
Doesn't-
Twisted Metal.
Hey,
Twisted
I'm
Metal
always
on the
good to
PS3
see
did not work.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
So,
On the PS3 it did not work at all, but
No.
I like the old Twisted Metal games.
so real quick, can I just throw out like a general prediction?
Go for it.
VR,
Secret prediction.
VR.
Okay. That's
lots of it.
just some letters.
Lots of
Okay.
it. Lots of.
Do
I mean,
you-
VR
Microsoft
games.
hasn't touched on it yet, so
That's
Lots
what I
of
was going to
it
say.
might.
lots of
Before we
Vive
leave-
games, lots of PlayStation VR games, couple of Oculus things, some cool PC stuff. some more AAA things, maybe from Bethesda, because they're the only ones that are doing AAA VR at the moment.
Yeah.
Well,
Give me
since
VR!
Bethesda- Since the next one is Bethesda, let's move on to that. Yeah, so the main thing going into that is obviously the Fallout 76, which was revealed in the past week or so. Bless you.
And they've mentioned officially that they are going to be like showing off more about gameplay and game mechanics and whatnot at E3, right?
Maybe.
I think they've officially
76.
confirmed they're doing that.
Maybe, yeah, they did. They basically just turned around and was like, I mean, you could just wait 9 days and see what we actually have to say for the game ourselves.
Yeah,
Sure.
Maybe that game will launch with VR.
that might be a thing.
Interesting
Given that given that they brought it out for both Skyrim and Fallout 4, and it has worked fucking amazingly for both, given that they're both in like the top 5 VR games on Steam at the moment.
I mean, out of 5 VR games.
I mean, out of fucking hundreds of VR games, what are you on
Yeah.
about?
Yeah,
They're
I know.
they're the only 2 AAA VR games. Other than Doom, but Doom didn't really work because of the movement system.
Yeah.
But Skyrim and Fallout apparently work really fucking well in VR and are 100% worth it. So I could absolutely see Fallout 76 either being built with VR in mind or having a VR release again in like a year and a bit.
Well,
I'm wondering-
Fallout 76 would be an interesting choice for VR, seeing as I guess the rumours are pretty much confirmed at this point about what type of game 76 is.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's a point actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so we sort of expected it to be the New Vegas style spin-off of Fallout 4 that
Yeah.
we sort of all want it. But it's come out, I believe Jason Schreier did the report where he was basically like, it's a multiplayer game. It's not an MMO, but it does have multiplayer elements to it as part of its core gameplay, and it's inspired by games like Rust and
Yeah.
DayZ.
I think it's going to be kind of like something like The Forest, where it still has story, but it's also very much a multiplayer survival game.
So
That's what I think.
Yeah, I can see that. That'd be good.
here's one big thing that I'm wondering about, because it could happen with EA, it could happen with Bethesda, it could happen at the PC show. Basically, anyone that has anything to do with VR could showcase this thing. Because do you guys remember when, I think it might have been EA with Battlefield that showcased the Omni, that like omnidirectional treadmill for
They
VR?
should- Yes. No,
Oh, yeah,
that,
so-
that was something that got developed on the Gadget show, I believe.
Yeah, and so there's this new one, and I think we're more likely to see it at the PC gaming show, if anything, called Infinideck. I don't know if you guys have seen this thing.
That's a terrible name, but go
That is
on.
a shit name.
So what it is it's a giant like square treadmill with a big ring around for you to kind of have as a bounds, and basically the treadmill operates like normal, like it's metal segments that go forward and back, but then each of those metal segments has a lateral treadmill on it, like a mini lateral treadmill.
Goes left and right.
Yeah, and it all syncs up, I believe, with the Vive, and so the Vive like reads when you do a movement, and then there's some latency that they have to work on, but it will then move the treadmill to compensate for that. So,
Interesting.
I think we could see some sort of showing of that this year.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I feel like
That
we're
would-
going to get
that
a
would
lot
definitely
of...
be a PC gaming show thing. Sorry, go on.
I feel like we'll get a bunch of VR with the PC gaming show. I feel like we'll get a couple
Yeah.
with Devolver as well. I feel like Devolver's got some kind of like accounting VR, virtual reality type deal hidden up their sleeve.
Maybe, but they tend to
Psychonauts
do
2 VR.
the thing with Devolver is that they tend to like operate in the 2D market, so it'd be interesting to see them make that departure into 3D and with that do VR.
I don't think they'd be opposed. I feel like it would, like something like accounting VR would absolutely fit Devolver's like niche, their style of game.
Oh well, I mean, dude, if any
Hotline
studio
Miami
was,
VR.
well, and I was gonna say if any studio is likely to do it, like Devolver would make something like 5 Minutes to Kill Yourself VR edition.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They'd
I can
get
see
all
them
the
doing
conjunction going with Adult Swim to do something like that. If anyone,
I
would.
can see them doing a like Hotline Miami VR, where at the start of every mission you have to answer the phone, and like it's got that sweet like 80s synth music in the background and shit like that. But then again, they Devolver are also the guys that published Gorn, so Gorn 2, maybe. Because they're not like they have done VR. They did Gorn. They did the Serious Sam VR game. I could see something like Shadow Warrior in VR, something like Luftrausers in VR. Maybe they're gonna release Hatto for Boyfriend 2. Who knows? The Talos Principle, that was in VR as well. Give us another one of them.
Betty, you gotta remember, you can't release visual novels anymore on Steam. They're too lewd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah. Sorry. Steam banned anything with breasts in it except GTA 5. Because money!
No, anything with breasts in an anime art style. That's what they banned.
That makes more sense.
And then they immediately took it back.
Yeah, because they realised it was fucking stupid.
Touching on VR, I think that Bethesda's big VR title this time around will probably be Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, very possible. Given they did it with Doom, I think they've had the chance to like fix the movement system from Doom and put it into Wolfenstein.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'll be it.
Yeah.
As for like other big stuff, I think Fallout 76 is going to comprise a lot of their stuff. I feel like...
Well, Rage 2.
Rage 2, but I feel like they'll give Fallout 76 to Fallout 4 treatment, where it's...
Yeah, it's like its own
get
thing.
A story trailer, get gameplay, and I say this will probably be their, like, announce it, and then 6 months later it's released game.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm thinking, like, September, October, November, that region.
I could see Fallout coming out at the end of November, and I can see Rage coming out, like, start of next year.
Yeah. So Rage was... it wasn't popular the first time around, right? Like, people liked it, but it wasn't a big seller.
It's like a cult classic. It wasn't a big seller when it first came out, but looking back on it, it was a pretty good game.
Like, I would say that if we were to speak honestly, I would say it kind of flopped.
Yeah,
coming out. Like,
I'm interested to see how Rage 2 does, knowing that.
I mean, they're doing a really good job of, like, selling it so far with the trailer, and just the fact that it's got id's name attached to it after what they did with Doom.
Mm-hmm.
So, the issue that I see with Rage is... I'm not gonna, like, start doing Borderlands comparisons. I honestly don't think you should really be putting those two in the same kind of
It looks more like
despite...
Bulletstorm, if anything.
Yeah. And, like, despite the similarities and the parallels that could be made to Borderlands, I don't think that's fair. I think the real issue here, though, is Bethesda's pulling an EA and shooting themselves in the foot, because they've confirmed Fallout 76 as a multiplayer shooter game, and then are also at the same time trying to push Rage. So if
have they confirmed Fallout as a multiplayer game?
They haven't, but it has been confirmed pretty much.
By fucking Schreier.
Yeah, Jason Schreier, and yeah, his word is usually gospel.
Yeah. So, like, with that, it's potential for them to really shoot themselves in the foot. And despite the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Bethesda, I would hate to see them make the same mistake EA made with Battlefield 1 and Titanfall.
I mean, you say that though, but last year, all in one whack, they gave us Fallout 4, Wolfenstein 2, and Dishonored 2.
What were
considering those are very
release
different
windows
genres
on those, though?
Yeah, but Rage is a pretty different genre from Fallout. Rage is very much a shooter.
Maybe normal Fallout, but Fallout 76 is in the same vein as Rage and Rust.
But Fallout 76, Rage isn't a multiplayer game.
It's fair to say that we don't know a lot about 76 yet.
No,
right?
we don't know fuck all.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're 100% shooting themselves in the foot. There's just the potential and the worry that they are. Because if both games end up being good games, I don't want to see one get smothered, and I don't want to see a studio get smothered by Bethesda deciding to release one of their biggest flagship titles at the same time.
I was excited for the potential of like another Doom game, but seeing that id are working on Rage, I feel like that's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Well, the games of Bethesda got this league. They got Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, which is not happening because it's Fallout year.
Well, if anything, we may see some hints at new Elder Scrolls stuff, but
Elder Scrolls
the one
6.
thing we will for sure see about Elder Scrolls is I can almost guarantee you they will talk in some capacity about the expansion for ESO.
Oh, almost certainly. That's the same as what they did last year. They did the expansion for ESO, they did Dishonored, they did Wolfenstein, and they did little bits on Skyrim VR, and then they were like, hey, here's Fallout fucking 4, bitches.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, whatever. What did they do last year? Wolfenstein 2?
Yeah.
And then there's one game,
Prey.
I don't know if people have forgotten about it, because I know nothing about this, but apparently Bethesda's got a sci-fi RPG called Starfield in the works.
Yes,
From rumors.
Starfield is the game that we think might be, but might not be. All we know so far is that they filed a trademark for it years ago. They renewed that trademark about a year ago, and we know it's a video game, and we know it probably will be a sci-fi RPG. You mentioned the Elder Scrolls before, and I think that's interesting because I think a lot of people are expecting something Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think they're expecting much, but I think like a title, maybe some hints of a cinematic teaser.
Now that I think about it, Bethesda's talked about a new IP, haven't they?
They have. They
Yeah.
absolutely have. And I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 gets mentioned purely because I read several interviews earlier about how Todd Howard mentioned that Elder Scrolls is like third on the priority list. There's two big games by Bethesda Game Studios coming out before that, so
And
I don't
that'd
think
be
they'd
Fallout
even
and
Rage
start it
and
production.
Fallout 76.
No, I don't think they mean Rage. I think they mean like proper Fallout level games. I think
Interesting.
they maybe want to include Fallout 76 in that conversation, but I think the other one could be this Starfield, and I think that's probably where I'm going to hedge my bets at what their big game is this
And
time
so
around.
it could be them pushing their ventures in like the Fallout and Skyrim RPG system into a space system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had a rotation of Fallout and Skyrim for a long time now, and I think something
They
new
want fresh.
could grab a lot of people. Yeah.
I'm okay with
Todd
that.
Howard begs to have made the difference, though.
Fair.
Hey man, don't shit on Todd Howard. He's my boy. I was really mad that he wasn't at last year's E3.
Yeah, they sort of did like a mini E3 show last year. They had
Yeah,
that
it was like
Bethesda
30 minutes
Land.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that Bethesda Land theme park shit. Don't do that again, Bethesda. If you're listening, which you're definitely not, but if you are, Mr. Bethesda, don't do that again.
We were all
Please.
just sat there at the end of it like, was that it?
You're
What
not
did we get?
Nintendo
We got-
and you're not Studio Ghibli. You can't have your own theme park yet.
We got Dishonored 2 DLC and a new Wolfenstein game. Was that it?
Like you said, as soon as Todd Howard wasn't there, you were just like,
Yeah, we was
Oh,
alright, well,
shit.
no fucking
No fun
No
for
major
us.
stuff going on today.
Yeah. So that's all I have for Bethesda. I'm not super knowledgeable in their games.
I mean,
I know
I
I
think
missed
generally
stints
it's
back and forth.
it's always going to be a smaller conference.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
With
they're-
most third-party conferences, it's going to be smaller than, say,
Yeah.
the big three.
Bethesda's not EA or Ubisoft who are going to be like, look at all of these games.
Yeah. So I guess the next one to move on is Square Enix.
Oh,
That's
Squeenix.
boy.
after Squeenix. When is Squeenix's conference? It is on the Monday or the Tuesday, depending on what time zone you're in.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
They
There's
might
a lot
close
of
with
stuff.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Alright, so I'm going to let you take the Square Enix podium for this one.
All right. So, obviously, elephant in the room is Kingdom Hearts 3. They just had the premiere event for it a few weeks ago. That was a event to allow press and community members to try out the game firsthand before release. There's been some issues with it, according to people. Floaty combat systems, getting hit during cinematic finishers, things like that. Issues people said they really want to see taken care of. I have to wonder if there is the slightest chance that since they did that initial release to get feedback from people, I'm wondering if they're going to release a public demo at this point, maybe to hold people over. That's if we don't get like a late summer, early fall release, because the artist who does the main themes for the game is releasing the main theme in her album coming out on the 27th of this month.
You mean like the same way they did with Fallout 15? They put out like a little like hour-long demo.
I mean,
like, hey, let's fucking go.
I could see it, because if they aren't releasing it until end of 2018, they may want to do something to help hold people over and get more feedback from the community on things that need to be fixed. Because Nomura is notoriously a perfectionist, and that's why his games stay in development hell for so long.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they took him off of Final Fantasy 15, actually, because he was taking too long because he wanted everything perfect. What we will probably get is, I think they've confirmed much earlier in the year that they are doing their release date at E3. We will probably be getting the launch trailer that is kind of rolled into every game. Like if you AFK at the main menu, their launch trailer will just kind of play. So I think we'll be getting that trailer probably. They've confirmed that there is a second playable character. We don't know who it is. We'll probably be getting that. We'll probably be getting a couple more worlds revealed. God, hoping that there is a Treasure Planet world.
Yes! If there's a Treasure Planet world, I will buy a PlayStation just to play Kingdom Hearts.
It's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One.
I will buy an Xbox One or a PlayStation to get Kingdom Hearts. If there's a fucking Treasure Planet world, I'm gonna go into a coma, honestly.
And there will probably be some reveal of like a collector's edition and like probably some sort of Kingdom Hearts 3 PS4 Pro.
Boom.
So,
Kingdom Hearts.
There you go. Boom.
When do we think release date for that?
As soon as possible if there's a Treasure Planet.
With Utada Hikaru releasing her album that has the main theme on it by the end of this month, I think there's small potential to see a like very late summer to fall release. But realistically, we're probably looking at something that's closer to a winter release.
I think that's fair to say, yeah. I would hedge my bets on winter 2019.
Christmas.
Then there's a couple big elephants in the room for Square. One is KH3. The other one is the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh,
yes.
Boy. Oh boy.
I am very interested to see where that has gone.
Well, they just had a leak there.
Yeah, I posted that the other day. It's not like too big of a leak. It was just they posted up like a job posting, and in the picture they had a piece of gameplay on the screen from the remake, and that shot just shows the Airbuster, which is a boss from the first mission. If you guys remember like the robot scorpion that they showed off at the end of the last big trailer they did, this boss is basically right after that. So it's still very early game stuff. If there's anything we see, I think we will actually get to see what Tifa's character design looks like finally, and the internet will collectively flip its shit in every way possible, because there will be people that are outraged at whatever size her boobs end up being, because people will love to fight over that. And then there will be just general, I guarantee you someone will pick an issue with the design. I hope we get to hear more of voice acting from characters, though. I actually really hope we get to hear some voice acting and see some explanations as to how the combat's going to work.
I would love to be in the boardroom of the Square Enix Final Fantasy VII remake meeting and be the guy to put out the data for like a I forget what type of graph it's called, but like the one where you plot points on it, and for Tifa's boob size, really, right? It's a range of Tifa's boob size, and then they like try and figure out what size equals the least backlash.
Yeah.
Good math.
Good.
I mean,
that's not gonna happen.
honestly,
when they say you won't use math after you finish school.
When boobs are on the mind, math just leaves the brain. That's how it works for me.
And honestly, what I'm gonna say is all they need to do is just take her model from the Advent Children movie that they had in like 2005 or whatever. Take that model, put her old outfit on it, and I think you're good. Other stuff that we might see some stuff of for the remake, though, just because the community makes a big deal out of it, is we may see something about the like cross-dressing disguise portion of the game. Like that may just get teased because the community really wants to make a big deal about that being in the game, and they've confirmed that it is.
I mean, well, it was a highlight of the game. That was a whole entire segment to get you progress.
Yeah.
It was there. It was something funny in the whole entire series that was fun.
Yeah. And I can see where people worried about it getting cut and whatnot just because of modern environments. But moving on from Final Fantasy VII, I think we will be seeing some stuff for Final Fantasy 15 because in 4 days the modding tool releases for PC. The port for the Windows version of Mobile Edition is releasing soon, and they have confirmed that there will be a second season of DLC coming in 2019. So we will probably see some stuff about the Season 2 DLC, which would be like Episode Arden, Episode Noctis, and Episode Lunafreya, and Episode Aranea. We'll probably see some sort of hints or things about that. And we will see some sort of like showcase of the modding tool to get people more invested in the PC release.
Okay.
Dragon Quest XI is a thing.
Yeah.
That will probably be saved for the Nintendo conference, though, just so they can give us an idea on when it's coming to the Switch.
Fair. Good assumption.
Final Fantasy XIV, we may see something relating to content that's upcoming for this expansion that they have. We'll see some Shadow of the Tomb Raider stuff. We might see some Just Cause 4 stuff.
Ooh,
who knows?
That was rumored.
And then maybe some Avengers stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, if there's anything left, if I assume correctly, and they show it at Microsoft, there'll probably be some stuff left for the actual Square conference, which is it annoys me because all these third-party conferences is like, did they show it at their thing or Microsoft's thing, or did they show it at both or neither? It's like it confuses me something. But I imagine it'll be like they do a big show off at Microsoft's, and then they say, we've got a little bit more. We've got like a 5-minute gameplay demo from another bit. Come see it at the Square Enix conference. Although they did say that the Square Enix one is pre-recorded. It's not an actual live conference. It's like a sort of direct type of thing.
Yeah. And I do think
sure how long it will last as well.
I do think Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII are going to be what Square makes the biggest deal out of, and then Tomb Raider, and if it's their Just Cause, because obviously, like, not everyone in the West is invested in the MMO. They're not invested in Dragon Quest as heavily, and they're not going to be super invested in Final Fantasy 15 2 years after its release. So Tomb Raider and Just Cause will be, if Just Cause is there, then that and Tomb Raider will be the big like push for Western market.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot left to say on Octopath Traveler at this point. I mean, we know when it's coming out.
and I'm saving that for Nintendo. Like we'll see something with that at the Switch stuff for Nintendo.
It's my favorite name of any video game.
There is also another thing for Square Enix, the Square Enix stuff.
Go on.
Mm-hmm. Did you mention the? It's on my list. The Grand Blue Relink.
Oh, that I think is going to be at PlayStation's conference, if anything, because I don't think that's Square. I think that's just Platinum.
But a lot of artists from Square are on that.
Oh well, I mean, but Square isn't on the project itself, so they wouldn't.
Yeah, are they a title developer or? Yeah.
No. So
There'd be a difference.
that is
Okay.
yeah. Platinum is the title developer for it, despite the fact that Nobuo Uematsu, who is the traditional composer for the Final Fantasy series, worked on Grand Blue. It's not a Square property, so
For sure. All right.
we
do
will
have
see that
anything
at the
left?
PS4 conference, though.
Do we have anything left to say on Square then?
Uh,
No? We're
anyone?
good to go?
I don't know why, but this has reminded me of something I forgot to say about Microsoft. But Sunset Overdrive 2 is rumored to be coming back, or coming announced.
Forgot about
Yeah, there was like a rumor for, it wasn't a trademark, but it was like some sort of document involving Sunset Overdrive 1 for PC.
Yeah,
Well, it didn't
that game
say
was really
it
fun.
didn't explicitly say Sunset Overdrive 1. It just said Sunset Overdrive, so that could mean the IP, I guess. So
It
it could
would-
be 2.
It would make sense if they're trying to build up hype for Sunset Overdrive 2 that they would just port Sunset Overdrive 1 to PC.
For sure.
Get
I'm
a
sure
new
when,
audience for the first game in time for a new one.
and I'm sure when Sunset Overdrive 2 comes out, it'll be part of that Xbox PC thing. It'll come out in both.
Yeah.
I forget what that's called,
That
by
was
the way. It's like
that was a fun game.
Xbox Play Anywhere. That's what I was trying to say.
yeah.
But yeah, moving on to Ubisoft.
Division 2!
Division 2 is definitely there. It's
Division
definitely happening.
2!
Assassin's Creed.
I did not
Odyssey.
play Assassin's Creed Odyssey set in ancient Greece this time around. It's like a continuation of
Did you
Odyssey.
see- did you see the little-
or as I call it, Assassin's Creed Spartan Kick Edition.
I was gonna say, did
Yeah.
you see the little trailer they put out where it was a Spartan kid? Like, there
That
was
came
no-
across as sort of tacky to me. That was like the obvious. I guess it's like
a
a
very
2-second
obvious
thing.
pop culture play. It's a very
yeah.
obvious pop culture play.
100%. And it works, because I am 100% down for this.
They're definitely going to have a gameplay demo where they show someone getting Spartan kicked.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be the ending of the demo.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, they'll probably have a really high quality cinematic trailer for that and a gameplay demo.
And the
Beyond
gameplay
Good
demo
and
will
Evil
look far
2.
better than the actual game.
Yeah,
Good
for
and
sure.
Evil 2.
Yes, that was revealed last time around. It was revealed at Ubisoft's conference, I believe. And everyone was super fucking hyped about it.
I think we'll see something of it. I don't know that we'll get like a full big showing unless it's ready to release within the next year.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
and I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
They were showing pre-alpha footage last year and only just a tad of it. But it did look good, but it's not ready at all, I don't think.
I've just watched this Assassin's Creed thing. I get what you mean with tacky now. One, it doesn't show the foot actually hitting. Two, he goes so fucking far, it's unreal. And then there's also like a little jerk in the animation when he's falling, where like his body sort of like snaps into a different position. So I feel like they've been like sitting on this for a while, like prepping it for a release, and then someone
And they're
leaked
making,
it,
like,
and they were
little
like,
changes.
"Fuck it, let's just throw it out."
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out like what army this dude on the right is from.
One fucking thing I want to mention about Ubisoft's conference. You did me wrong last year, Ubisoft, because you took away your one saving grace of the whole conference.
Oh,
And that
what's
is
her name?
Miss Aisha Tyler.
Yeah.
You took away Miss Aisha Tyler, the goddess herself. You need to bring her back. You need to get her on that shit. Because whoever the fuck was hosting last year, they were far from Aisha. Right? Bring her back.
You
That's all I'm going to say.
were real salty about
I
that.
was salty. And justly so. Justly so, I say.
And so, speaking of yearly traditions at the Ubisoft conference, we all know that there's going to be a Just Dance game, and we're going to have to listen about how they're doing it, a Switch version of it, and how it's VR ready.
I've written on my notepad, Just Dance bullshit celebrity dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Jason
And then-
Derulo or whoever the fuck.
And then there's the rumor of Splinter Cell.
Ooh. I don't know how to think about that.
Well,
it
you
could
know,
be.
it's Splinter Cell. They've
Yeah.
been decent games in the past.
Yeah. And they've been pretty
What was the
quiet with
last
that
one they
series,
did?
right, for a long, long time.
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
been quiet about it
and-
for a while.
The
And like,
Blacklist?
was
I think
it?
it was Blacklist.
No. Blacklist?
Chaos Theory was like
Was-
fucking 2000.
I don't know.
Was
The
that
last
the
one I
last one?
remember
And-
is Chaos Theory.
Blacklist is the one with the ending that everyone loved because it put you against your co-op.
Oh, yeah, no,
partner,
yeah.
right?
No, was that Double Agent?
That was Double Agent. But yeah.
What?
I'm pretty sure it was Double Agent.
I don't know, but yeah, Blacklist was the last.
Maybe I'm just...
Blacklist
I
was
don't
the
know.
last.
I might be wrong about that.
Splinter Cell.
Conviction.
Yeah. And then they did Wildlands.
Yeah.
I know, but like that was the other Tom Clancy game.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Ghost
Ghost
Recon.
Recon.
Yeah.
I typed in
was their
Tom
most
Clancy's
recent.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah, well, the Division's a
and
Tom
Ghost
Clancy
Recon
game.
comes up after
Right?
Blacklist.
Isn't it? Another thing I want to point out about Ubisoft I'd like to see, I've got no like rumors and stuff backing this up, but where's Rayman?
Oh, Rayman was a thing that might.
Yeah, like Rayman had 2 great games in Rayman Origins and Legends, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
they
and
both
Legends
did
is
great.
actually the free game this month on PS4.
Yeah, and mascot platformers are back anyway, so it's time. More Rayman. Give me more Rayman.
And I mean, this is gonna go with every single conference. I know that most of them are the bigger ones are gonna close it off with a hype play reel of all the things the smaller things that don't.
They're like,
deserve
oh, here,
big
by the
slot.
way, check out
Yeah, the sizzle reel.
cool little bits
Yeah,
of
the
the
sizzle
action
reel.
games we didn't think were good enough to
Yeah, so that's what probably all the things like Rayman and Grand Blue and stuff like that. They don't take a big slot.
Fair. I think they would give Rayman the big slot though, because that series, since they redid it, has been going really well. It's sold pretty well. It's reviewed really well.
I mean,
So
another
they-
reason
yeah.
why it's been doing really well is because they've been drawing things.
Also fair. And I've got another prediction here. Rabbids Battle Royale.
Oh no.
I actually see that happening.
100 Rabbids are dropped onto an island. That's the one Battle Royale prediction I have that I think might actually happen.
Mario versus Rabbids Battle Royale.
Yeah, no, don't bring Mario into the Battle Royale genre. Just don't do it. You can have the Rabbids, keep the Rabbids.
I mean, they brought him into the XCOM genre.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have a game design friend that has made that complaint about Nintendo with Mario. Is Nintendo very much has this idea of Mario being their character, where they're like, that's a really interesting game idea, but what about Mario?
Yeah.
We put Mario in it, and then what if we put Rabbids in it,
And then what if?
and somehow make a good game out of it?
Because
We
nearly
don't.
everything
We
Nintendo
don't
has
even
been
know how
touching
it, it just
is
happened.
turning into gold bricks.
Yeah, Nintendo. I think Donkey said this in one of his videos. He was like, they can't run a company, they can't run PR, but god damn, could they make games?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know how the fuck to run a company, but yeah, they can make some fucking stonker.
I don't know what you're talking about. Reggie seems to be running the company pretty good.
I'd love EA. I'd love Nintendo to do like a really wacky thing like they used to do with some of their older E3 stuff, like the Robot Chicken they had one year, or like the puppets. I love the puppets. Everyone loved the puppets just for the GIF thing. So if they did something wacky like that again, that'd be cool. But I don't think they're going to do that this year. I think just a standard direct. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We did Mario and Rabbids meets XCOM. So now we need Mario and Rabbids meets like Splatoon. Or
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Mario Unknown's Battlegrounds. Players one of 100 different Mario characters.
Yeah.
Maybe throw Sonic in there for good measure.
Okay. I've skipped.
There's no Watch Dogs.
I've skipped the PC gaming show in my notes. Usually it's very good and I will watch it. We won't be streaming it. Or at least I won't.
When is it? What time is it at British time?
At British time, it is 11? 11.
On what day?
On Monday, June 11th.
I may be able to do that.
Okay.
When's the Devolver one?
It's on like at 4 a.m. for us on the Monday.
I will absolutely be able to do that one.
God, Monday has like 4 conferences.
hey, so I'll be around Monday after lunchtime. So yeah, let's fucking. I'm gonna do the shit out of Devolver.
You do that, friend, and you enjoy yourself.
I will likely do the PC Gamer one as well.
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure because there's a lot of stuff that I like to.
They had Age of Empires last time, and that was just.
They did, and that was
really
hype.
Happy. So good.
Is there anything I don't know? I don't have any predictions down now, like I said before. But is there anything?
It's hard to predict.
So this is for PC gaming show.
Yes.
Yeah.
VR.
Like I said, VR, potentially Psychonauts if it doesn't pop up anywhere else, and another company if it doesn't pop up somewhere else. We'll probably see something Blizzard related. Maybe them talking about the new expansion or talking about bringing Diablo to the Switch or something. I think we'll see like some small things from Blizzard here and there. I don't think we'll see anything like Overwatch 2's. I think any like super major announcements they will save for BlizzCon.
Yeah,
most of the super stuff, but they'll probably show like a hype trailer for expansion. Mostly because you can already pre-order and access new races, right?
Yeah.
PC Gaming Show, it doesn't have a lot of the flair that the other conferences have, but it's just usually rapid-fire, cool little things that you might like.
I'm holding on to hope that EA will sneak in a Command and Conquer revive of some sort.
God, you can hope.
I mean,
come on.
Usually with the PC Gaming Show, it's like, oh, you saw those things on Microsoft and Nintendo's. Well, those games are also coming to PC. Please love us.
One thing that I'm excited for, personally, that I might see at PC Gaming Show is the new Mount & Blade. Bannerlord, I think it's called. That's been sort of kept quiet on, but it was shown as well at the last PC Gaming Show, so I'm hoping we might get a release date this time around. Something like that, because I'm very excited for that game. I love Mount & Blade.
I mean, they can also show things... Oh, I just lost my train.
Like mid-sentence, she lost her train of thought.
I will also say, I completely forgot about this series until we started talking about PCs and more indie-related stuff. It reminded me of Yooka-Laylee, and it makes me wonder if there's any shred of possibility to see something Banjo-related at Microsoft's conference.
Hey, Yooka-Laylee was in the Humble Monthly last month. Fun fact. I would love to see some more Banjo. Give me more Banjo.
There is a rumor going around that Rare is going to license some of their IPs to other studios. So you might see Banjos or Perfect Dark. I would love to see Perfect Dark Zero. Or like the next variation of Perfect Dark.
If they were to
just
hand
committing...
Banjo... Go ahead.
I didn't hear either of you two there.
Yeah, go ahead.
We both stopped at the same time and then just didn't carry on.
Oryx, go. I'm choosing.
Okay. So, I just short one. I think it'd be interesting to see Rare hand off Banjo to Playtonic and see those developers get to work with Banjo again, rather than trying to revive it through Yooka-Laylee, because Yooka-Laylee kind of flopped from what I heard.
Yeah.
It did, because it got the shit kicked out of it by a hat in time.
Yeah.
And also by people that were angry at JonTron.
Also that. I was going to say, are Rare just like fully committing to Sea of Thieves now?
It seems like it.
Yeah, that seems to be their big thing right now. They've been working on a whole bunch of new updates for it.
Yeah, and I haven't invested
they just
in it.
put out. They just put out the Hungering Deep, which is their big new update.
Yeah, like
also,
I haven't invested in Rare, or in not in Rare, but in Sea of Thieves yet. But that's just because I'm waiting to see more content for it before I do.
Yeah, apparently the Hungering Deep is pretty hefty. It adds like an entire new boss campaign, basically. Which seems awesome.
Sea of Thieves hit me with the No Man's Sky effect.
Yeah.
Where it seemed like most people thought it was going to be something more than it was and jumped off of it. But the people who kept on really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw an article that said, like, Sea of Thieves has lost a bunch of players, and that's the best thing that could ever happen to it.
Sure.
Well, the problem with No Man's Sky wasn't that it was a bad game, it's that they lied about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
this
I-
game will be this game will
And
be
to fair to
multiplayer.
them,
No, it won't.
There was that whole issue of their offices getting flooded mid-development.
I mean,
I believe it was
yes,
No
but
Man's
then
Sky
you
that
can
had that
still
issue.
you still don't say, "Hey, No Man's Sky is going to be multiplayer," and then not make it even remotely close to multiplayer.
Yeah.
They recently did just add the multiplayer ability, I think, or they're going to. I think they've announced it.
Like actual
multiplayer.
Fly around with other players multiplayer.
You can meet another human.
Okay, now I will play the game. Like, that's all I wanted. If they'd have just added that in, I wouldn't care. Because that's all I want. That's the only reason I wanted the game in the first place.
Yeah.
Alright. Why you gotta do this to us?
So, moving on to probably the biggest two conferences, the last two. We'll start with PlayStation.
Alright.
And... okay, so PlayStation usually own E3. Like, it's their show. They tend to dominate it.
And
Last
Death
year...
Stranding opening for them is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Last year was... I want to say lackluster, but it wasn't really, because they showed off a lot of good stuff. It's just that it wasn't as good as previous E3 conferences, because they were hyped
nowhere
shit.
near as good as this one.
Alright, so
Yeah.
this prediction is just to please Artie whenever this.
Go on.
Kojima's gonna walk out. It's gonna start off dim, and then lights are gonna show up. Kojima's gonna walk out, gonna pull down his pants, and on his nanomachine enhanced dong is the release date for Death Stranding.
I would be okay with this.
There's like a little patch of sand, and he pisses it into the sand.
No, his penis is actually replaced with a baby's head.
Yeah, and then like the baby emerges from the sand, and naked Norman Reedus run on stage and grabs the baby and runs off.
Dude, I don't know what the hell Kojima has been smoking. I don't know what the hell Guillermo del Toro has been smoking.
The same thing
Mads
they've been
Mikkelsen.
smoking for the past 15 years.
Yeah, but now they've given it to Mads Mikkelsen and Norman Reedus, and they have two more
Yeah.
people backing them up saying, yes, this is a good idea. And I'm just confused as to what the fuck they were doing. The trailer they put out at, the Game Awards, or whatever the fuck it was, where it's just like, hey, here's some people, like, whispering each other. Oh, now this man is in the floor, a couple more people are in the sky, there's a baby in your throat. Also, the world is just a giant hole now, and there are people floating in the air. Have fun.
Naked Norman Reedus holding his Norman fetus.
and then there's the kaiju, too. Like, there was just some random giant monster.
The goddamn kaiju. Then there was that weird trailer they did with Mads Mikkelsen, where it was like Guillermo del Toro running into like a sewer, and Mads Mikkelsen with his army of weird disappearing World War II soldiers, and like.
By the way,
I'm confused, but I've never been more excited for a game in my life.
Has anyone been
at the
paying
same
attention
time.
to Kojima on Twitter recently?
No.
So, first off...
From what I understand, the only tweets I saw of him are like he's editing a trailer.
Yeah, but also, I think we're right to call that thing a kaiju because he has a giant-ass model of Godzilla on his desk that's like bigger than his...
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
It's like bigger than his computer monitor.
One.
But, like, he's...
Hideo...
You can also count on this being cinematic still, just as like movie-like as other games that he's produced, because if you really pay attention to his Twitter, most of it is about movies.
Yeah.
Like, he is a massive film buff, so expect cinematic stuff.
Well, a lot of his retweets are about movies, and a lot of his inspiration for Death Stranding is coming.
Dude.
Yeah.
Just the trailers alone for Death Stranding are cinematic as well. I remember he tweeted like 2 words the other day, and I was like, what are you on?
The big question is if we will see gameplay.
Yeah.
We're going to see it a little
bit when we finally do.
What if Oryx? We have seen gameplay already. In the
Well,
trailers.
and so there has been some theorizing about
shot?
that. You guys know how there were like the weird little like robot arm things on the suits of the dudes?
The ones with the lights on them?
Yeah. So people have theorized that like because of the fact that thing spreads out in like a quad directional manner, people have theorized that maybe it's a third person shooter and that is your like over the shoulder crosshair.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's just been a retweet on May 31st that Jack Black will be reading Grim Fandango, so we might be getting a Grim Fandango re-release.
Wasn't that announced? Or no, it was a remaster. Was ages ago, actually.
And then this is another, speaking of remasters, big ones for PlayStation, Medieval. That's a thing.
They announced that at PSX.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of PSX, the PSX showing this year wasn't as great again.
Yeah.
And they even basically said it going into it. They called it rather than a conference, they called it like their showcase, which is the same wording they're using for this, which sort of tempers my expectations a little bit, but there's still a hell of a lot of things to be excited about. I think the main stuff to be excited about is things we already know about. I don't expect a lot of surprises from Sony this time around.
Yeah,
but
like,
again,
there's
much
see
shit.
Spyro.
Yep.
We will
that little purple body.
We will see. It's probably at PlayStation that we'll see something about Code Vein from Bandai Namco.
Yes, I forgot about that.
I think PlayStation's also where we will see FromSoft's like whole Shadows Die Twice thing.
I have not heard. Oh, that's not Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the not Bloodborne. The not Bloodborne.
You
but
fucked up trying to mock me.
No, I was mocking them in that it's going to be the not Bloodborne, but basically Bloodborne.
Yeah.
NIS America will probably be showing their HD remake for Killer 7.
Can we just get Bloodborne on PC? Please?
No, you won't. No.
Please?
No.
Pretty please?
Sony says no.
I don't think we'll see anything from Guerrilla this year.
Yeah, it's too soon for them. They're working on a big fucking
Horizon.
thing. Probably Horizon 2, but yeah, we'll see.
Or another Killzone.
I see no problems with this.
Killzone.
We will
Do
see.
people still care about Killzone?
I'm just saying that's a possibility from them.
Yeah.
Either that or maybe they're helping Kojima right now. Who knows?
Could be. Yeah, they give them the engine. So
yeah. We'll see something from Ghost of Tsushima probably.
Yep,
which is
made
Sucker
by
Punch's
Sucker
game.
Punch. Yeah.
And if you don't know who
with
Sucker
Infamous.
Punch is, and Sly Cooper.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Sly Cooper.
And speaking of Sly, speaking of classics, maybe we'll see some Sly Cooper stuff in the coming years with all of the like Ratchet and Clank, the Spyro, Crash, like with all that stuff happening. Maybe we'll see Sly Cooper. And if, aside from The Last of Us, Naughty Dog shows anything Jack related, someone in the crowd is going to faint or die.
And is that you, or is that person going to be you?
No, I'm just saying, like, something will happen. Like, I actually think someone would faint if a Jack announcement happened. Because how long has it been since Jack 3?
Yeah, too long.
And yeah, we got a couple Jack games.
I'm pretty sure I was on the
but they
voice
weren't that
chat with Liam whenever Crash Bandicoot happened, and I broke down. I fucking oh, it was so good.
Jack 3 came out in 2004, so it's been 14
overdue.
years. Well, and
Yeah.
I do remember that Naughty Dog had actually done interviews about, like, because people were like, why are you doing more Uncharted? Do more Jack. And Naughty Dog, I remember, kind of said something along the lines of, we don't feel that at this time we could make the Jack game we want to make. So maybe that time is coming around. Who knows?
So, real quick, just back on the Kojima thing, slightly for a second. I'm looking through some of his tweets. And he tweeted that something reminded him of a novel he wrote in his college year, where in the Neo future, where every female was wiped out by a plague, basically. And the government invented artificial wombs that enable men to give birth. The story is about young male students who are trapped for the lab experimentation.
Fuck.
Death Stranding, maybe?
Okay.
I mean, he's giving free now that he owns his own studio. He's doing his, what he wants. So
Yeah.
bringing this novel to a reality is gonna, do some fuck with.
And yeah, that apparently, according to Mads Mikkelsen, even after working on the project for over a year, he still doesn't fully understand the story.
Yeah.
Every piece of information I hear about this game, I don't understand more.
No,
I understand less
like,
about the game.
That's what he was saying. He was saying he was basically like saying, I've enjoyed working on it, but it's a bit like being in drama school. You basically just get thrown into a scene and told to improvise and see what happens.
We don't know what genre the game is. We don't know.
We know it's partially single player. That's literally it. That's literally all we know about the game.
That doesn't mean anything. That's a non-fact.
It means it has multiplayer in it. It also means it's got Norman Reedus in it.
We do also know
There's some robots. There's a baby.
So, and I don't know enough about this series to really speak on it. Out of all of us, Naki would probably be the one best able to speak on it. We'll probably see something about Shenmue 3.
we'll definitely be seeing something about Shenmue 1 and 2's remasters for the PS4 and Xbox.
Is that how it's properly pronounced?
Shenmue, yeah.
I never heard it like that.
Shenmue.
Yeah. But you will also be seeing the new 3, definitely. There has to be, even if it's in just one of their sizzle reels, it's going to be something.
Yeah.
There's going to be something. There is the new game coming by Sucker Punch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
And we kind of made a joke that maybe it's Shadow of Mordor Japan edition.
Yeah. Just from the, the whole entire, the revenge kind of thing. I'm the ghost of Sweet the Japanese man.
That's not racist at all.
Not even slightly.
Not at all.
We're gonna see if that stays in.
So,
yeah.
Days Gone.
Just leave a beep there.
I know nothing about this game, but apparently it's kind of a big deal. Days Gone.
Yeah,
Is it that zombie game?
Yeah,
it's
it's a
the
zombie game.
It's the Motorcycle Club zombie game made by Studio
It-
Bend.
It didn't seem great until they blew up a wall and the fucking flood of zombies came through, and I was like, oh, this could actually be pretty great.
And then
I hate to say it because Studio Bend is great. The
What else
game
have they
itself looks great.
it's gonna make
like
consoles scream. It's
I don't
gonna
think
make
I've
your
actually-
PS4 scream.
I don't think I've actually played any of their games. I just heard the reputation surrounding them. Let's see, Bend Studio. They made mostly video games, right? So they made the Uncharted video game. They made Siphon Filter, I believe that was another video game, and I think this is their first. Yeah, this is their first big step.
Okay.
They made Bubsy. They made Bubsy 3D
I mean,
for the
I remember
PlayStation.
playing Siphon Filter on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
and I will also say, just kind of going back to NIS and that whole Killer 7 HD remake, for people that don't know, NIS is the group that made Disgaea, Danganronpa, a lot of slightly lesser known Japanese games, and Killer 7 has I can't remember his name, the guy who directs the Resident Evil games and Suda 51 on it. And Suda 51's the dude that made No More Heroes, Let It Die, all of those games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Suda 51's in the vein of Yoko Taro crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and-
to go back to Days Gone, I hate to say it because it looks good, it looks fun, but it's dead on arrival simply because when people see it, they see not The Last of Us.
It hasn't
And
grabbed
they
me.
also see another zombie game.
Yeah, exactly. People are tired of zombie games. They can make an exception for The Last of Us because it's The Last of Us, but they don't want to
yeah.
get invested in another series of zombie games.
One thing I am gonna see is they've been showing it being a lot of graphics, very high tech ish, and you're gonna either have to have a PlayStation 4 Pro or your regular PlayStation 4 is gonna catch on fire and start screaming at you. From looking at all the sheer amount of entities registered zombies.
Yeah.
And so speaking of Last of Us, in this week before, because I've had the remaster for a while and I never played it, so I started my first full playthrough in the past week or so. And I got a fair chunk into the game, maybe to around the 60% mark. And there are some things that I would like to see handled a little better.
Such as?
I would like to see better AI for Ellie. If Ellie's even the AI in this game, if they even have AI.
Yeah.
I would like to see them fix their issues with what I call like the arbitrary endpoint problem. So like I want them to see I want to see them give us more like jumping off points from the game. Like give us good solid points where it's like, okay, I can save and quit now.
Yeah. I had that problem as well where I just kept playing like relentlessly until I thought this is the point where I can breathe.
The soldiers, I would like to see like enemies not have bottomless clips.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to. There's just like some general little fixes. Like I want to see them turn bottles and bricks into actual weapons so that you can use them against clickers.
I want to ask you this since we're on the topic. Are you a bolo man or a brick man?
He's a shiv.
It depends.
Man.
It depends. Bottles if I want to get them further away. Bricks if I want to just kind of distract them close. Bricks I'll use if
I'm
like
a
right behind them.
revolver man.
I'm an exclusive brick man. If I have a ball and I see a brick, I'll swap it out for the brick every time.
Any specific reason?
No, I think a brick would make a nicer sound when it hits.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
that's the dedication of a psychopath.
Last of Us will probably close out the show if I'm to guess.
Yeah.
If it happens, then yes, 100%.
We have not touched on Spider-Man.
Oh, you mean the game that looks fucking incredible?
The game that's coming out in September, and everybody's gonna be like, "Well, don't release anything in September."
The game that is very close to adding another reason to my list of reasons why I should buy a PlayStation.
I mean,
you absolutely should.
You also have to consider the studio that's working on it.
Insomniac.
Yeah.
Insomniac does good.
Yeah. It seems like there is a lot of what I would almost call AI help. And it's not as much help as it is just like smoothing of your gameplay experience.
For sure.
It seems like there's a lot of like game handled logic as far as things like how he'll jump over buildings, how he'll run up buildings. And I just hope that that's all like really well squared away before the game comes out.
Yeah, my main scare for the game is I don't want it to be that the game is playing me. I want to feel like I'm in control. And so I hope they obviously like to show the flashy stuff where it's like very cinematic and your path is clearly drawn out so that it looks nice for the show. But I would love to see some just like basically free roaming and showing that you can be Spider-Man. You're not just watching a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
that's what worried me about a lot of the trailers. Like some of the parts just looked very fixed, like on rails, even though it looked pretty. And
well, I think those trailers are on rails, mainly so they can just show you the main points of everything. And I can see there being some Uncharted set pieces, quote unquote, like the falling cranes and whatnot. And then there's going to be the segments of missions that are a little bit more Metal Gear 5-y, where you can take access points from nearly anywhere.
Yeah, I would say all they need to get me fully on board with that game is just like a 10-minute video of a guy just sticking around, swinging around the place.
You want Nerd Cubes to be like the guy playing the demo and the E3
something like that.
all they need to get me on board with that game is show me a mission where you play as Peter Parker, but just with the mask on, like still in like his school gear.
Oh well, and like have you guys seen some of the costumes that they're putting in the game?
No.
So they've confirmed the Infinity War Iron Spider suit is going to be available.
Yeet.
Spider-Man Noir is going to be an available suit. I believe 2099 is going to be an available suit. I think.
Oh my god, beta stop.
Like they're doing.
I really like Spider.
They're doing a good job, and for those of you that don't know who the main villain is, like this Mr. Negative guy, in the comics, he is responsible for turning Venom into Anti-Venom.
Okay.
Which basically, like, Anti-Venom becomes like a hero / anti-hero in the fact that he can like cure any disease basically. So that could also become relevant to the story in some capacity.
Do you think two things? One, do you think the Iron Spider suit will actually have the little arms at the back? Because I feel like they could tie it into the story that way and just be like, "Go."
I don't think so. I think it's more of just a cosmetic suit.
Two, do you think we're getting like either the Black Spider-Man suit or like
I think it'll be there in
just
some
play as,
capacity.
or just play as Venom? Fuck it, why not?
I think we'd see a black suit
Might be
if
a rape.
anything. I think Venom will be in the game in some capacity though.
Yes, please.
You do know that like
I mean,
a big point for them is that you can actually customize the base suit, right?
Yeah.
Like you can actually like
When
move
does-
around
when
and
does
resize
this-
elements and shit like that.
Can I make
When
them
does this
blue?
game
Can I
come
make
out?
them all blue?
September, I believe.
Auburn. Comes out September.
Yeah.
This September.
Believe
Yes.
Okay, the Venom movie comes out this October. I feel like they'd be missing like something big.
Yeah,
They won't
that's fair.
won't
It's,
tie it in.
shit.
Like as far as I know with this Venom movie, he's not even gonna have a spider symbol on him.
Mhm.
Like
No,
they're
because he
they
gets
are
the spider
very
symbol from taking over Peter Parker.
yeah, like they are very fully cutting this Venom off from Spider-Man as far as I know. So we won't see too much play between the movie and other properties.
But where's the fun in that?
I mean, that's just a hard knock development thing.
The last game I have on my list that needs to get talked about at this conference, I feel like, is Dreams. Does anyone remember Dreams?
No.
No.
It's that game where it's not a game; it's a game where you
Oh,
make
the
games
one where it's
about
like drawing
games.
on the walls and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
No,
Yeah, I kind of remember
when that was originally like shown, I thought this is Media Molecule being too Media Molecule, and it's not going to sell well. But every like journalist that goes and plays that game, it's like they've been changed, and they talk about it as if it's like a religious
They
experience.
have a
like,
revelation.
it's not a game. It's like you're there for art and you make a world, and I think that game's gonna be crazy, and I can't wait to see when they release it and how I can like just get on it. I think it'll be hard. It'll be a hard sell for a lot of people if they do something like a PS Plus version of the game, like they were gonna do with Drive Club, where it's like some of the features might be locked off, but you can dip your toe in for free. I think that would be a better way to do it, but I'm very excited to see what they do with it.
I mean, as long as it doesn't go the way of Project Spark.
Yeah, that was a complete fuck up, right? I didn't hear much of that game after it was released.
Yeah, no, it flopped hard.
Yeah, I had a small community that made stuff for a while, but it died out pretty quickly.
The thing with Dreams is it's not just about making games either, it's like cinematic stuff and cool artsy things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll see
from
Destiny
there-
2 and COD there.
Fair, yeah.
I think we'll
They
see them
have
at
those
PlayStation.
deals. If we see Red Dead at all, it's most likely going to be at Sony's as well, because they have the marketing rights to that, I believe.
Now, I don't know if anyone here pays attention to Maximilian Dude at all.
No.
Uh,
What that is.
He's a big Mortal Kombat fan. And he's been there's been a lot of talk about like the timeline of how NetherRealms releases information regarding Mortal Kombat games, and so it's lining up to this year pretty like solidly show off something like MK11. So that's a potential thing that could be there as a Mortal Kombat 11 announcement to compete with things like Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Capcom, we may see some stuff about like these are the things we're bringing to Monster Hunter World.
Oh yeah. Has the hype train died on Monster Hunter World, or is it still
No,
going?
because
it's
it's
still
waiting for
going
it to come
strong.
on PC.
It's still
they
going.
literally just released another monster this past week.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Couldn't it just come out on PC already? Then we'll be sorted.
But just invest in the PS4. Like, sorry.
the-
No!
The PC version was slated for around in August, September.
Yeah, it's an autumn
Do
release.
you know what I'm doing instead, Finn? You know what I'm doing instead?
You're playing Dauntless?
I'm spending £2,000 to buy a new PC and a VR headset.
Well, that's probably the smarter decision, but don't complain when you can't play The Last of Us Part 2.
I will not be complaining because I'll be too busy playing hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
So will I!
Hey, that's a good game.
I wonder if Capcom will show something for a Resident Evil game. There's some potential there.
But why?
That would be soon, wouldn't it?
When did
Maybe like a remake of an old one?
Oh, man.
January 2017.
If they announced a remake of 4, people would flip their shit.
Oh
Yeah, I think they...
Dude,
I mean,
if we
there's
get
been a lot
HD
of
remake of 4, I will spend all the money necessary to get a copy of it.
I mean,
How many
there's
times have they remastered 2? Like, it's been like 5
Too
times
many.
over remastered.
How many times have they remastered 1?
Yeah.
And then there is in-house stuff. Sony Interactive Entertainment. And specifically their Japan branch, I wonder if we will see anything out of them this year. Because they
What
are
would we potentially
responsible.
see?
So the games they have been responsible for are Legend of Dragoon, which is a big cult classic PS1 RPG that came out 2 years after Final Fantasy VII. Still one of my favorite general turn-based RPG systems ever, because they had this whole thing where it was like, when you hit the attack button, yes, they'll run up and attack, but then you have to hit the button in timing with their attacks to actually make them do extra attacks on the combo. Kind of like with the Paper Mario combat system, I guess some people have compared it.
Yeah.
and the edition system.
SIE Japan has also made Knack, Ape Escape, Patapon, Demon Souls, Soul Sacrifice, Gravity Rush, Shadow of the Colossus Ico, Last Guardian, Loco Roco, Freedom Wars, and Parappa the Rapper.
Shoutouts to fucking Knack. I can't believe that game got a sequel.
Yeah.
Jammerlami.
I'm pretty sure that game actually did do pretty well among younger audiences, which I guess is what it was for. But
Yeah.
I just can't believe Knack still has legs.
But so
Knack 2, baby!
so I'd and my joke was I'd love to see a Legend of the Dragoon remake, but they're probably too busy working on Knack 3.
Yeah.
But
Damn it, Mark Cerny.
honestly, I just want to see if they're going to produce something. We aren't going to see anything from the dude that made Shadow of the Colossus Ico and Last Guardian, because we all know the development time turnaround on his games.
Yeah, so we had... it's probably too soon. Blue Point, I believe, are the name of the people who do the really good remakes. They did the Shadow of the Colossus one that came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty soon before we see another thing out of them, whatever they're remastering next, or maybe they'll get their own game. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, it might be pretty soon for that, I think.
That's all I have actual games-wise for PlayStation.
Yeah, do we want to get into hardware stuff or services things? Because I have some stuff for that.
I think they're gonna round out the show with a potential announcement of the coming of the PlayStation 5. I think because they have been talking about it. They have definitely been talking about it.
The context they've been talking about it in, though, and I was on the PS5 that's coming out in 2019, 2023, and I was on that for a long time, but they came out and said PS4 has 3 more years of life in it. So I think the play is going to be price drop the PS4 Pro and buckle down for 3 more years.
See, but I think the PS4 is another PS2. And so I think it will have a life cycle in. Okay. Yeah. So
Especially
that may be
PS4
what we see.
Pro.
Yeah, because the last console cycle, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, that life cycle got artificially extended because of the recession.
Yeah.
And the global economic situation. So logic would dictate that this is shorter, but I guess this generation also got extended by the half generation consoles, the X and the Pro.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I was always under the impression that people didn't realize that Death Stranding was a PS5 game, not a PS4 game, but I think we might have to wait a little bit longer than I initially expected for that.
Yeah. The other thing that I think they'll show is they may do some stuff for like upgraded PlayStation VR.
Yeah,
That might be a thing.
I feel like PlayStation VR has taken the place of Vita in these conferences. I don't think Vita is mentioned in this conference at all. Not the word never gets mentioned once.
Yeah,
It's
well,
dead.
I mean they've
over.
stopped production of physical games for it.
Exactly. So
Per
Vita, you were well loved while you
it
lasted.
was
I mean,
it was
Vita.
like
The PSP.
it was a good system for playing old games on the
Well,
go.
Vita's still doing well in Japan.
Everything is doing well in Japan.
Well, it's mostly because of their internet infrastructure is a lot better for on-the-fly mobile play with mobile.
Yeah.
And I think Sony will be... I don't know how exactly they'll approach it with the PS5, but they definitely want to incorporate something handheld, probably because how the Switch did. Now, I don't think the PS5 will be anything like the Switch, where you can take it on the go, but I imagine something akin to like a Vita 2 that is somehow connected to the PS5's architecture.
Or maybe
where-
something that is like what the Wii U should have been.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I need to get before I get a PlayStation anyway.
A Wii U?
A fucking Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, a Wii U.
Yeah, I was
The-
confused.
The poor man's Switch. Yeah.
No.
And so I don't know if we want to use that to transition.
The Switch is fucking forgotten, nearly aborted cousin.
Jesus.
So yeah, do you have anything more for Sony?
I think some semblance of backwards compatibility. Like, not
Oh,
straight
man.
up the way Microsoft are doing. I don't think they're going to do that purely because they bought Gaikai. They invested a lot of money into the streaming shit and they don't want to let go, as bad as it is right now. But some semblance of, like, a
Hey, we can
service,
do it too.
like a PS2 Classic service, where they're going to just bring in, like, a wave of PS2 Classic games and you can pay a certain amount to access that library.
Well, I mean that's
I don't know,
PlayStation now.
something like that. Yeah, but like they're very slow. I'm thinking just like a one-time fee and you get all the PS2 classics.
So
Oh,
you're
then
basically
Just buy
thinking
an
like a
Xbox
collection.
they're bringing up all the PS2 games.
Yeah.
But fucking 4K HD, super smooth. Just get an Xbox.
Yeah, but there will never be like some PS2 exclusives will never make its way to the
Oh,
One
yeah,
X.
but SSX is all you need, really.
Fair. Right, yeah, that's me done with Sony now. I guess we can move on to the final player.
Oh, well,
which
there's
is-
one thing-
Devolver Digital.
Well, there's one thing I want to note for Sony is the fact that they might have to rework their PlayStation Plus service.
Yeah,
Into
it all.
what and why?
So
on.
I think the why comes from the idea of if they have to like compete with Microsoft. So if Microsoft starts doing price drops on anything, Sony's going to compete. They're going to try to keep that lead that they have right now. So if Xbox does something like we were kind of talking about where they're like, "Hey, the online's free, but you pay for like access to all of these games." Then Sony may move in that direction just because, we all know that one of the biggest strengths of the PS3 last generation was free multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be some sort of return to form for that if Microsoft does something similar. Or
For sure. I can
Sony
see
could
it
just say
happening.
we have the lead and keep their paid service
Yeah,
even if Microsoft does a desperation move.
which would be mighty arrogant of them, but certainly not above Sony, what Sony is capable of.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one, Nintendo. It's the Nintendo Direct as usual.
And we're not going to talk about
Digital.
Devolver all that much because we have no idea what the hell they're doing.
Exactly.
Yes, but I just want to express my profound hype for Devolver because they have not published a bad game.
Your hype is acknowledged. We're moving on to Nintendo.
Thank you. Alright, there we go.
The hype has been acknowledged.
Yeah,
I'll move on. Business.
exactly. It's on Nintendo's on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on your time zone. For us, it's the Tuesday at some time, 5 o'clock.
All right.
And it'll probably
so,
be no more than an hour.
we immediately know the big things they're showing. Pokemon,
Smash Brothers,
Smash, and Metroid Prime 4.
And Pokemon 2019.
Yeah, so Pokemon,
How do we
Smash,
think-
and Metroid Prime.
How do we think they handle Smash Brothers? How much do they show? Do they show new
Yeah, I expect
characters?
some character
like,
reveals.
what do we expect?
A trailer.
Uh,
New character trailers.
Yeah, trailer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So, like-
I expect a tournament.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be fair.
Because if I remember correctly, they've actually
That's a
been
good way to
winding
get
up
some
that.
gameplay
That's
up as
been
well.
a big
Make
like
it a-
PR thing on
I'd say
Twitter for
fair
Nintendo.
tournament. Like, no one has a main.
Because like remember when Smash 4 came out?
So,
Just-
are we speaking like?
Or,
Are we
like,
speaking like getting
celebrities.
pros in
So,
to do like
shit
a,
like up,
a
down, down,
tournament,
shit
or are we talking about like how?
I think both.
Well, I was
Well-
talking about how they did the Mario Tennis Aces pre-launch tournament that's going on right now, where I would never have considered buying that game, but now that I've played it a bit, it's very fun, and I will
Yeah.
probably buy it.
So
But then I guess Smash Brothers has a lot more hype around it than Mario Tennis.
Nintendo has been grabbing like legitimate pros. So you've got members from both the Smash 4 and the Melee scene. I don't know exactly who they've grabbed. Maybe they've grabbed Armada. I think they've grabbed Zero. But it seems like they're grabbing professional players. But I also see them grabbing some celebrities like they did with Smash 4. Because for Smash 4, if anyone
Yeah,
remembers,
Snoop
they
Dogg's in
grabbed
for Battlefield
people like
5. Let's
Zelda
just get him in
Williams,
for this.
who is Robin
Snoop
Williams'
Dogg's in
daughter.
town anyway. Let's just...
He's literally gonna smoke the competition.
He's gonna win by smoking everybody out of the Nintendo.
Hey!
So, so yeah, Pokemon, Smash, and Metroid Prime are their big players.
Yeah.
Uh,
Staying
may
on
see
Smash
some
for a
stuff-
little bit. Do we see
Snake,
like we're gonna
Zelda.
see our usual cast of characters, the Marios, the people that appear in every Smash
Splatoon.
game.
We'll see
Do
a
we
few
see
Fire
it?
Emblem characters. We'll see Zelda. We'll see Mario. We'll see Yoshi. We'll see Splatoon.
Do we see any like third-party big reveal characters this time around, or do we wait for a later date?
Well, part of that comes with the question of: is it a new game or is it a re-release of Smash 4?
They said it was gonna be Smash Switch, which implies it's gonna be a new title.
Yeah.
The one
And-
thing I am gonna see is them adding an ARMS character.
For sure.
That's a possibility, but I don't see that being a big forefront character that they announce. Splatoon.
No,
was the
that'll be
first
among
big one.
their. Yeah, that'll be among their like sizzle reel of characters, essentially.
I think
I think.
there's potential we'll see a reworked Cloud character with 7 Remake still on the way. I think Square would like to keep that relationship open.
You know what I'm gonna say,
God.
right?
I can see Crash being in there.
What?
Crash and Spyro. Get him in there.
Crash just does his little fucking Crash's
I can see
finisher better
Crash,
just
but
be
Spyro. That
Given-
depends
I
on if
don't
they
know.
bring that.
okay. So here's the thing.
I'll
right?
take
Given that,
I'll
like,
take one or the
when
other, but
Crash
the,
does his
the,
like fucking spin
the
thing
tag team
and
will be
knocks
hype.
and like kills an enemy, they go flying off the screen, right? That's got to be his finisher in Smash. Like, because it sends someone flying off the screen anyway.
Okay.
So it's just got it's
So-
literally
Sure.
just got to be a little. Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh.
You could do a lot of things. You could put the mask on him.
So the reason I will say that those characters aren't likely, is when we look at the history of like the DLC characters that they got, which were the big, and we can just look at any character that they've gotten. Snake.
Snake didn't make any sense at all. He shouldn't have been there.
So when you look at things a
GameCube.
certain way, it does. Twin Snakes was a massive GameCube property, and yes, like the Metal Gear Solid games were on PlayStation, but the original Metal Gear games were on Nintendo.
Yeah.
So Snake had a legacy on Nintendo, no matter how small.
Fair.
Sonic, after Sega went under, he basically
Mario and
became
Sonic at the Olympic
a
Games.
competitive mascot with Mario for Nintendo. Now Cloud Cloud makes the least sense debatably among anyone because he never touched a Nintendo console aside from like a music game for the DS that had like all the Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Tetra.
Yeah. But it made sense from the perspective of Final Fantasy has a super long history with Nintendo, and Cloud is the most iconic character from the series. Bayonetta became a Nintendo exclusive series with the Wii U. So that made sense. Corrin, Fire Emblem character, Fire Emblem's Nintendo.
Please no.
Pac-Man. Pac-Man actually is, now that I think about it, is probably the one that makes the least sense because he's just a Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily locked to a console. He's just Bandai Namco. You could chalk it up to like his Game Boy game history or something.
His Nintendo 64 game of Pac-Man World.
Okay. So yeah, there's history of the characters with Nintendo consoles, and the only history Crash and Spyro have with Nintendo are those Game Boy Advance games that no one liked.
They had that. I like them. Fuck you. I hate to fucking bring this up in the conversation at all, but Skylanders had a pretty big.
Reminding.
I guess that's.
I hate you for reminding me
on
that
Wii.
Skylanders was a thing that
Did
existed.
Skylanders?
Listen,
hit
I
me
hate
really hard?
Skylanders as much as anyone.
Okay, actually, yeah, that could bring Spyro. That wouldn't bring Crash, but that could bring Spyro.
If you bring Spyro, you gotta bring Crash, man. Just little orange bastard. He would do great.
See, but then think about how Crash was represented in Skylanders. In
Well,
like,
yeah,
a
that's.
single TV
I'm not
episode.
I'm not talking about having the Skylander Spyro in. Just like, don't do
Yeah.
that, please. But like, I don't know. That would make sense. They would make me very, very happy. They would make
And
me a
actually,
happy boy.
now that I think about it, Pac-Man made sense in Smash 4 just because Bandai Namco was working on the game. So it also depends on who's working on the development of this game. And I don't think Bamco is. I don't think so.
True.
So we probably won't see any Bandai Namco characters. And I think one of my biggest hints for it being a new release is the fact that when you watch the trailer, the Link they have is very blatantly Breath of the Wild Link.
Yeah,
It is not a traditional
I
Link.
noticed that too. Yeah.
But as far as characters that I think we could see, Spyro I do actually now kind of see as a possibility. Cloud I think is a possibility. The absolute slimmest chance in the world that Sora will make it in just because of the hype surrounding KH3. Like, that's kind of why I think Cloud got in, was because of the hype surrounding the initial announcements of the 7 remake.
So in that vein of that crossoverness, there's an issue going around because 14 likes to do its crossovers with other Square Enix properties for Final Fantasy 14. So I'm seeing, while we may see another Cloud returning, we won't see Sora turn to the Nintendo side. We'll probably see a crossover event.
Okay.
Do you know what would be really fucking crazy?
What?
Cuphead.
No.
Makes no sense.
Is this the Dark Souls of Smash Brothers?
Flowey.
Next you'll say that they should
Lowy.
put Sans in.
They should. No.
They already do,
Yeah.
Ness.
Like he's in the actual game.
What would he do? Just stand there and be a dick?
That's it. They don't like. They just
Everyone
they
else
just throw
gets super
themselves off
bums
the
out
edge.
and leaves the
It's like,
battle.
oh man. All right. See you later, I guess.
I'm trying to think of like big
Rabbids.
Nintendo properties that are like coming out or have been releasing recently.
The only thing I can say is
Rayman,
ARMS. I see
given
it
that
up.
they did the Mario and the Rabbids thing.
ARMS 2, if that was doing.
That's a good show.
That's
I
an,
guess that's
yeah.
I guess that's potential. I think we could potentially see like
I
the Rabbids.
always forget
from
that the
Odyssey
Rabbids
get in there in
are
some
a
fashion.
Rayman
Maybe if it's
game.
like assist trophies.
like what
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we may see the Rabbids get in there in some capacity as like the Rabbids, just like kind of like the Pokemon trainer was in Brawl, where it's like you can switch out between different versions of it.
Yeah.
Like,
No, they don't, but they are.
God, the rabbits have no right to
Probably.
be as successful as they are. They have like a theme park in Paris, don't they?
Yeah, basically.
They were the first case of the minions.
Yeah.
Also, this will be there, but maybe not in any sort of like super big capacity. But Capcom will get Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate there.
Yep. Good call.
We'll probably see some stuff about Bayonetta 3 and No More Heroes 3.
Do we think?
Oh, Travis touchdown. For it, because he was originally in a Nintendo property, or he was for the Wii originally.
Yeah.
Is he big enough for Smash though?
Oh, he is. Travis touchdown. I mean, No More Heroes was fucking a cult hit.
Okay. I can concede that he could be in it.
Of course, you're gonna have to go back with the mechanic of charging a sword by looking like you're masturbating.
So the other two big ones that we haven't touched on yet are Pokemon and Metroid.
Yeah. So.
Well, they just.
Yeah, they just did Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah, but they never showed off a lot of it.
2019.
Yeah.
I think the big thing will be Pokemon Let's Go at E3. But then I think that they will drop something for Pokemon 2019.
They're going to drop
Maybe not
Pokemon 2019 because they're going to want to release it early.
No,
they've said it. I believe they've said it's second half 2019. I believe that's been confirmed.
You don't want to stack too many. Like, they already fucking released 2 Pokemon games. Or not released, but like talked about 2. You don't want to stack too many Pokemons on top of each other. The message will get lost.
Checking on the tech.
I don't
news.
even.
That Pokemon game will draw the masses back to Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
It brought me back.
Well, and Finn, you saw Amaya's tweet about her and her husband fighting over who gets to walk the dog now.
Yeah.
Just so they can hatch eggs.
My big issue is I won't be able to play Pokemon Let's Go because I don't have a phone that can run Pokemon Go.
Yeah, and there was that whole weird thing that they said about there not being wild Pokemon battles in Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah, it's gonna be the catching Pokemon thing is just the Pokemon Go mechanic, and the battles are only with other trainers. So it's not it's Pokemon Light, I guess. It's like baby's first Pokemon game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was right. An all new core Pokemon RPG title will be second half. But they will probably drop a trailer, if anything.
I don't think so. I don't think they'll even announce the colors. I think they'll just give us some information. Like, maybe they'll say whether it's a remake or a new gen.
Well, it's gonna have to be a new gen because they already remade the whole entire Kanto series with Pokemon Let's Go.
Yeah. Like, if they were to do a remake, it'd probably be the Gen 4 remakes for Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum.
But I don't see them doing that for the Switch.
If they
mainly
do it
because
for the Switch, if they do it for the Switch, I would be willing to bet it would be after this one. I think this will be a new generation.
Yeah, because they're touting the Switch as their new go-to mobile plan, and so in that vein, they might be announcing maybe in the next 2 to 3 years the death of the.
Maybe it depends. It really just depends, because Nintendo last year they were saying like, yeah, the Switch is coming out, but we really want to keep pushing the 3DS. But their tone can definitely change on that.
It has in the past.
I think we will get some more info on the Yoshi game that's coming out.
Is that the Woolly World, or was that already released?
No, the like quote unquote behind the scenes one where like it's a 2D platformer kind of game, but you can like go 3D for just a second to go to like a back lane of the course.
Oh, so
So, like,
basically,
you can basically
almost a
switch
Fezian.
Not even necessarily Fez. Like, it's literally just like switching between the front and the back track of the course to see where things are.
Pikmin.
Why do you have a
Battle
hard
Royale,
on for
where
Battle
one of the
Royale
Pikmin
games?
are
What is
dropped on
this?
an island and
God damn it, HyFin!
Okay.
Yeah,
If
because everyone does right now, man. It's the shit.
if anything, so I guess we can kind of link that with this one. Is there gonna be a good Star Fox IP this year? Like, will there be any showing of a good Star Fox IP?
I mean, I've never cared about Star Fox personally, but
They're not bad games.
No.
Like, at least 64 and the one on GameCube. I can't remember what it was called.
They're not bad games, but the thing is Star Fox is one of their dying IPs now. The only way they can breathe life back into it is if they do something big and extreme with it, and make sure it goes off perfect.
Yeah, like they could potentially make it like a third-person shooter, like action adventure kind of game, maybe, and that might save it. Like, kind of do like a Metroid Prime rework of the Star Fox formula, but still keep like piloting sections in the game and whatnot.
They tried
Maybe,
to do that
like,
with the GameCube one.
Because I was thinking like maybe you could have like almost a Ratchet and Clank style system for Star Fox, like maybe that. I think that'd be their best bet. Is to do.
I think that's what they did
with.
tried to do with. Yeah, they tried to do that with the GameCube one, but it.
I've
it
heard
ended up
that
being,
game was good. It's just
people were saying it's good. It
the
didn't sell.
reception. Yeah, and I think that might have been like an advertising issue for them, maybe. I think.
It also didn't look too appealing.
Yeah. Octopath Traveler is a thing.
yeah, like I said, there's not much more to say about it. We know a lot about the game. We've played parts of the game. We know when it's coming out, but I guess I could show off more.
Just kind of a
Get
little
people excited.
reminder. Like, I think they'll do a launch trailer. Like that one final trailer to just like say, hey, this is the game. It's coming out. Go get it.
Did you play the demo, Oryx,
Yeah.
when it came out? Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. And I'm not a big JRPG guy.
I think it's a very solid system. Part of the reason I like Legend of Dragoon and I like things like Persona is because they take that JRPG turn-based formula, which gets extremely stale, and add mechanics to it that keep you engaged in it constantly throughout the entirety of it.
Yeah. So the last big fish in the pond is Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
I've never played a Metroid game.
So I'm sure you've seen the classic Metroid games. They were like Metroidvania. I mean, that's all we have to say.
Yep.
But then Prime was an extreme departure from that to a first-person shooter adventure game.
Okay.
It still kept the same like design philosophies of like going back and forth across levels and massive areas. Like, I think Metroid Prime 3, you could legit like just go between beginning and end constantly. So like they're very much like sealed open worlds. Like, they are open worlds where there's linearity at the beginning and they open up as you gain your tools. So that would be what Metroid Prime 4 is in the vein of.
Do we know who is developing it yet? Because I know there was a big clamor for Retro to develop it, and they said they weren't. I think they said they weren't.
Do not know.
Yeah, they would
It makes me
need to
wonder if
reveal
it could
that.
be Nintendo in-house.
Could be, yeah.
It's being developed by Bandai Namco,
I see.
at least reportedly. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's saying that. Okay, so Bandai Namco would be working on Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
I mean, and
I imagine
Bandai
they
Namco's
have,
got
like,
a
a-
relatively decent track record.
Yeah, I imagine this is what... I'm wondering, did they open or close the Smash Brothers? Because that's turns where Metroid goes in the conference.
I think they close with it just so, or actually
Definitely close.
I think it gets put just before the closing, and then at the end they have their little highlight reel, and then they say, "Oh, by the way, we've got one more announcement," and it'll be like
so
a character.
cheesy, I love it.
Yeah,
I mean,
be
that's
like
the
a
typical
character for
Nintendo
Smash.
thing, but wait, there's more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, they showed off Splatoon, and then they like literally wrapped up the show and talked about other things, and then they were like, "Oh wait, we forgot," and then they unveiled Smash Switch.
Yeah.
So
if that's it, I think we're done.
there were
right?
the leaks too. They're small
Oh, yeah.
information, but they're the leaks, which is the big ones
Yeet.
that I really noticed off of there. Beta noticed Overcooked 2.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball
excited.
Fighters, and that's actually kind of a
Okay.
big deal. Dragon Ball Fighters coming to Switch is just another fighting game. There's only one fight stick that exists that is compatible with the Switch at the moment, though. So, like, if you're talking any sort of like competitive scene, like you're gonna have it kind of weak on the Switch, which is all the much stronger for Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball Fighters is very much a beginner, controller-friendly kind of game. And then there's the two that like make me really hope the leak list is false, which is that Fortnite and Paladins could be coming to the Switch. I just don't think we need to see that.
We don't need to, no.
No, get rid of it.
Especially Paladins. Paladins needs to go and die in a hole.
So for
'cause
hardware
FIFA
for the Switch,
Well, and also
Yeah.
real quick, FIFA was on that leak list too for the Switch, which would be like the first
Yeah,
real
it
big
was.
sports game to come, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be. I don't think Madden or any golf game, though there's like been the party many golf
Yeah.
games, but they are no real sports game.
Yeah. All right.
but hardware for the Switch, they already announced that there's not going to be a virtual console. They're trying to go through with their new for their
Yeah, they've said their
Switch
subscription
Online.
service will have NES games in it.
But there's also the fact that I want to see them update their firmware of their Switch to actually make it fully USB-C compatible. Because right now, if you have a non-Nintendo approved dock or anything like that, you pretty much brick your Switch by plugging it. Because it's not fully USB 3.
Yeah. I don't think that this is the place for that sort of announcement, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, something like that.
They'll probably be
And-
announcing like some big firmware update, which might include
Yeah.
that in the little.
Yeah.
And I will also say, we didn't really talk about it just because, you know, it just had a game last year. We're not getting a new Zelda game this year. We are not getting
Oh,
any
no, for sure.
relative announcement of that. We could see
No mainline
a
Mario
remaster. We could see like a remaster or something for Zelda.
Yeah.
But what I'm really curious about is how are they going to deliver old Zelda games to us on the Switch? Because the Wii U did not have the proper life cycle to be given the Twilight Princess remaster. It got that, and I feel like it didn't get the representation it should have gotten because the Switch was starting to dwarf the Wii U at that point.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'd
wouldn't
love
want
to see like Wind Waker HD and all of that come to Switch as well. Just do
They're
ports or
probably
something.
going to announce ports of that, maybe in a sizzle reel.
Nintendo aren't one for sizzle reels. They are very structured in how they do things. I would love to see especially like it could work for them coming up to the holidays if they want to release it then, like a new sort of like family party game, like a Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
Please no, I don't want to kill everybody within the 30-foot radius.
I just need like a Mario Party.
I
in my life
just
again.
need-
I haven't played one in so long.
I just need
Get a
Overcooked
Nintendo
2
Wii and get
come out on
Dokapon Kingdom.
PC.
I
and
don't
have
want to
fucking
get a
all I
Nintendo
want.
Wii.
That's all I need. If nothing else comes from E3 apart from that, I will be happy and content.
And then maybe level 5
maybe
will
they'll
show off
announce
some,
that Human
some
Fall Flat is
Yokai
getting
Watch and then get
workshop
promptly
support,
crushed by Pokemon.
and then I'll be even happy.
So there's no like argument for Pikmin Battle Royale, no?
No. If anything got a
No.
battle royale, if anything got a battle royale, it would be like Splatoon, or maybe even Star Fox for like a vehicle version. But those are the things that would get a battle royale.
Yeah.
And actually, you know, No More Heroes kind of fills that void, and Bayonetta 2 kind of. But it's not enough. I think we are going to get some amount of M-rated showcasing for the Switch, because they have very much stated that they want this to be a console that is capable of like having a platform for like, I wouldn't say adult content, but like not just being
Mature
a kid's console anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Like they've had the South Park games on it, but yeah, it was a long time after they were released.
Like we may see something. So Arc System Works, the people that have made like Blaze Blue and Dragon Ball Fighters, Guilty Gear, all that stuff, they actually have a team that's working on publishing a visual novel, and that's coming to the Switch. So we may see something about that. But who knows?
Okay, that's all. You don't need to watch it
So
now.
yeah, that's all of E3.
Heard everything
we did
there.
Yeah.
Where are we dropping, boys?
You don't even need to. You don't even need to watch E3 now. If you've seen it, it's over. We did it. Battle Royale games from every developer, and then we're done. Death Stranding is a Battle Royale game.
Oh God.
Could you imagine?
Do you know what, Nagi? I couldn't imagine. That's how sure
I feel
Yeah.
confident in saying.
All right.
I feel confident
So
in
yeah,
saying
just
that
to wrap
if
up. Go on.
Death
Beta
Stranding
before
is a
we end.
Battle Royale game, I will cut out one of my eyeballs with a spoon. I feel entirely confident in saying that.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
And so
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I can try
It's
an
the
eyeball.
internet. You have to fulfill that promise if it happens.
So real quick, just a rundown. So real
Cool.
quick, just a rundown of what I think are the big things to watch out
Devolver
for.
Digital.
I think it's Death Stranding, Last of Us 2, Spider-Man, KH3, Final Fantasy 7, Battlefield 5, Anthem, Halo, Crackdown 3, Beyond Good and Evil 2, Pokemon, Smash, and Metroid Prime 4.
In fact, that'll be a good way
Fallout
to end it.
76 and Rage 2.
I'm going to go around all of you and ask, what do you think the game of the show was going to be? What's the biggest hype? So, Liam, game of the show. The game of the show.
That's the game
Death
of the
Stranding.
show. Something that we haven't seen a lot of that could be like Death Stranding. If it does show up and they show more than just a vague ass trailer with Norman Reedus tripping out, you know, that shit's up there. But I'm a huge Halo fanboy, so if it's there, that takes it for me.
Okay, Beta, game of the show. What is it?
I don't know. I want to say something that isn't Death Stranding, but it's going to be Death Stranding. But yeah, I want to say something
You're
that
being
isn't Death
robotic on
Stranding,
Discord.
but
I
it's
don't
going
think
to
it'll
be.
show up in the recording, but
It's
you're
going to
definitely being
be
robotic.
Death Stranding.
We'll just assume he's actually talking right now and just be like,
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, I'd probably say Death Stranding as well. Yeah, okay, so Oryx, you went over your list, but like, what's the big one?
For
If you had
me,
to choose one.
it's Kingdom Hearts 3, just on a personal level, and the fact that that is a game that's been 13 years in its lead up. So,
Yeah.
and that's because I don't think Final Fantasy VII Remake would take it if they showed like substantial gameplay and story trailers.
Yeah, which I don't think they will, because I'm pretty sure that game's in development hell right now.
Right. Other than that, if, like Liam said, like if Kojima brings his like A game with gameplay and a like understandable trailer, and we get an idea of what Death Stranding actually is, then that might take it.
So that's my prediction for Death Stranding. It's going to start off with a big black screen and says, a Kojima Productions game. And then that's it. That's all it's going to be. 3 minutes of a Kojima production game.
If you squint really hard, you're actually able to see gameplay.
Yeah, you gotta squint in the pixels. It's all playing out in the pixels.
Yeah, I agree with I agree with Death Stranding is probably gonna take the show, but I think the sleeper hit could very well be the Avengers game if they do it right and build the hype for it with the amount of support Infinity War got. It could be a game changer, a game-changing game. That's a bad word choice, but you know what I mean.
The game that changes the game.
Yeah. So yeah, just to wrap up,
I will be live streaming Devolver.
We'll be live streaming all of these conferences except Devolver. Over at twitch.tv/hyphen.
Damn right.
You can go to twitch.tv/whatever Beta's username is and go watch Devolver Digital. Like, what is your username?
And marveling at the wondrous
there
people that are Devolver Digital. If you think I'm joking, you don't know me.
I just want to point out.
Good.
I just want to point out that
I am going to be
when you said you were going to
when
get
the
blackout
Devolver
drunk,
Digital
the
one
Discord
happens,
made
I'm going
your
to be
voice
coming
slur.
off of Download Festival with all the alcohol.
Alright. So yeah, twitch.tv/hyphen for all the conferences except Devolver.
Alcohol.
And then twitch.tv/Grandmaster Beta for Devolver if you want to watch that. We'll have pre and post shows discussing everything that happens there, and then once E3 is done and finished, we'll have another podcast like this where we wrap everything up and discuss in depth what we saw. And yeah,
and what
thanks for watching.
Yep.
Goodbye.
That's the end, by the way. Yep. No, that's the end. That's how we ended it.